Welcome everyone to the Film Vault. That's Anderson. I'm Brian Bishop, your host for today. Top 5 movies based on non-traditional IP. A little wordy, I admit. I thought of this idea and I'm like, God, there's got to be a better way to phrase it. But there's not. These are films that are not based on books or comic books or TV shows.
Non-traditional source material.
Something you would normally associate with an adaptation.
Non-traditional source material.
You'll see.
Can you not hear me?
Yeah.
You can?
He just doesn't care.
Why are you not reacting to the words that are coming out of my mouth? Non-traditional source.
Unlike the rest of America.
Source material.
That's right.
He doesn't care.
Yeah. I like it. It's a good topic. And it's going to be one of those, every now and again, it's like it's an education for all of us, Brian.
In fact, yes, I, in the researching my movies, was happy to find some fun facts and stories about how these movies were developed.
Yes. So we'll bring all of that to you, as well as some good movies to talk about. We'll be talking about a listener-assigned film from Nick Eats Cake, had us watch Emily, which is all about Emily Bronte.
I just met that dude.
Yeah. He was at the live show. And this is...
Not Emily Bronte, Nikki.
Emily who? Emily who?
Emily Bronte. She is the author of Wuthering Heights.
Yeah, you said not Emily Bronte. What are you doing?
No, sorry.
You didn't meet Emily Bronte. You made a hilarious joke.
Yes.
Yes,
I met that dude. Not
so
Emily
she wrote
Bronte.
Wuthering Heights, which I don't have time for, because if you're going to misspell your fucking title...
Yeah, that's always bothered me.
That and Downton Abbey, as well as Happiness, the one with Will Smith. They misspelled Happiness, so I'm out on all of those.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, I cried like a pab in high school.
I need to watch that, actually. I need to watch that.
Pab tears.
Steve Conrad wrote it.
Wait, no, not that one.
All right, then.
What's the one? What's the one where he's like dying and he's trying to do good things for people?
Oh, is
Will
that
Smith?
not 21 grams?
It's 6
There's
degrees.
something
It
like
had a
that.
number in it.
I had a number. What was that?
inside?
Yeah, he's got like a jellyfish in the bathtub. It's some horseshit.
I'm
Some
out.
sanctimonious horseshit.
I'm out. All I can tell you, Stephen Conrad,
Seven something.
writer and creator of Patriot, has a writing credit, or the writing credit on Pursuit of Happiness.
Why wouldn't you see it?
Because I wasn't in love with the old Stephen Conrad
It's
over
the
there
fucking
before
Patriot guy.
I got that information. Okay, so yeah,
7 pounds.
Thank
7
you.
pounds.
Well, so
It's
we'll
a
be doing
decent movie. Happiness is very mainstream Hollywood, feel good, fair,
We're not-
but it's very good.
We're not doing 7 pounds, all right? Let's continue.
No, I'm doing Happiness.
Oh my
The
God.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, you're back to that.
Yeah.
He is back.
But unless it's assigned, I'm not watching that shit. All right, that might not be true.
Well, not this week. This might be a record for
Well-
missed score.
Also going to be talking about Brian took one for the team and went and saw Borderlands, which
I did.
Which I got thoughts on that. I got thoughts on how we should approach movies like that. Because
Okay.
I'm going to try and stick to my guns here and be a better film
Stewart?
Yes, because going to see Borderlands doesn't seem to be doing anything other than the title of this here episode.
It's no help to anyone.
So instead, I went and saw a movie called Kneecap, which I think is going to be helping people.
Also non-traditional IP.
People, that's right. That's right. Well,
No, I don't know.
It's kind of true, actually. A little
Is
bit
it
true.
really?
I mean, kind of, yeah. And then also, for
What
whatever
was it
reason,
based on?
That was very clever.
Brian assigned me. Why is that? Why is that
It's
clever?
based on a kneecap, I would imagine, is where he was
right.
going.
That's not where he's going, and that's not clever at all. And then, for whatever reason, Brian assigned me the sequel to Sing, which is an animated movie. He had me watch Sing Sing.
Well, you got to see it before you see Sing Sing Sing. Otherwise, you won't get it.
Mm-hmm. Very funny joke I just made there. But yes, we were talking about Sing Sing. And you know what? Happy
Went off
accident.
your joke, idiot.
Happy accident.
It's a good show so far.
Sing Sing and
We should
Kneecap.
point out that we're talking in the backyard.
A lot of overlaps.
Outdoor show.
A lot of overlap with the Sing Sing and the Kneecap. So we'll be talking about those similarities, as well as why you should see not one, but both of those movies.
Oh.
Kneecap,
Maybe,
as well as Sing
maybe
Sing.
Borderlands will be a 3 from.
I don't believe so. All right, while we're talking Borderlands, and I'm sure we're going to hear all about it from you, as well as I would imagine Fanflickssions. We're going to have some Borderlands discussion.
We got a little bit.
What about this? Like movies like that, I don't know what to do with them. Like I have a great feeling that they're going to be colossal pieces of shit, and they're being shoveled to the the masses. And I don't want to. Why would I be a part of that? You know what I mean? So what about this? We skip. Maybe we even lie. Just put it in the title, and we could talk about how we didn't see it, right?
Yeah.
And then
Get that sweet SEO.
That's how we get in the title. We talk about not seeing it.
I mean, we're not great at business, but we need to see current releases. But then, hey, something like Borderlands, we put it on the shelf. We wait for it to be streaming, and then we do a watch along. What do you think about that?
Ooh, not bad. I do like the utility of having it in my mind for the Revolties, because that's contender for
Oh
number
no! What
one.
am I going to do with Revolties?
Yeah, I know.
If I stick to my guns and
See, that's why you gotta see these movies.
Nah, but I don't want to be one of the shovelers. I don't want to shovel shit.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's
to tell you. You know what? A footnote to that. You'd be proud of me because I have a friend who works in the industry.
you're already lying to everyone.
I do. I know a
You
guy. He's
know-
not a friend.
yeah,
I know.
there
a
you
guy.
go. Better.
I'm aware of
People
my
like you
man.
don't have friends.
I'm
Mark.
aware of him.
You've spoken to a guy.
He's been spoken to while I've been around, so I feel like we've had conversations. That said, he watches a lot of these movies for his job. It's not film critic; it's post-production. And I saw him on Saturday or Sunday. I'm like, oh, dude, I saw Borderlands. He's like, oh, I've been working on that movie for 2 months. I'm like, why didn't you tell me? Like, he's like, it's a horrible film. Like, see, the purity of me not asking my friend who knows things.
You're lying again.
No. I fucking guessed 83. Do you know how bad that is?
This is a long drawn out story to try and prove
Yeah,
your
to
innocence.
show to you
To
how
prove
I
he's
am-
not cheating,
How
yeah.
I am not going for an
You
inside
didn't know
info.
that your friend worked on this
No,
guy.
I don't. No. But he probably works on 70% of like big Hollywood
So
movies.
he does like
So if I ever want to like, hey, is this gonna be good? He'll tell me.
he does the old watching movies for like what is it called for the to make sure that there's not bugs and
Yeah.
colors right and
Sound mostly.
sound. So yeah, what is quality control?
Yeah, among other things, yes.
They have a word for that. QC. Yeah,
I
that's what the word is. QC, quality control. I am stupid. All right,
No,
hey,
you
show
nailed
us
it.
a-
Well, you were smart and stupid. You were right and wrong,
you
which
got
is
it right.
impressive.
Well, I mean, we're in the backyard. We're in Brian's backyard, so neighbors beware.
oh no.
Yeah. You're going to hear it. Hey, free film ball for them. They don't have
That's
to
true.
Patreon up.
Hey,
It's true.
they get it first.
Yes, they do. Hey, speaking of
We're
Patreon up
saving $25 on a live show.
and marketing and how we're not great, the shirts, the package, the full deal, the hats, the cups, shirts, all available to all. And
Flying
once-
off the shelves.
Once we hit the mark, that's when I'll put in the order to actually have the next and most likely final run
Nice.
done. You owe it to yourselves to have one of these sweet ass shirts. Everyone needs an extra trucker hat laying around, and these cups are solid.
The cup is actually, don't bury the lead. The cup is the sweetest part.
If you've been listening to the show for a while and you would like a little piece of the show at your house, now is a good time because we haven't done shirts in quite some time. This is our first shirt run.
It's been a while.
First merch run in a long, long time. And this is not bullshit. Like the guy who does our shirts was very, very pleased with the way I was having a shit day. It was all bad news. Got a call from him. I'm like, fuck, shirt guy's calling. What's it going to be, Mark? What's happening? And he goes, Anderson, I just want to let you know I am so goddamn, this is Mark talking, nitpicky with our designs and with our prints and with I always run them through 3 or 4 times before we find one that we like that I can sign off on. He's like, first time out the gate, this is a beautiful, beautiful shirt.
Nice.
He wants to display it in his shop. He's
Yeah,
been
yeah.
there for like 25 years.
Put it on the website.
He's like,
baby.
this is one of the best design, best shirts, and this is what he's telling me. I'm like, thank God you got some good news for me, Mark. So yeah, if you would like to, and do we even? Oh God, we're bad at business. Do we even have representation of it on the site? I guess everyone's seeing the new
we
logo
do.
now, right? I should take a picture, like, or at least show it, like what it looks like on a shirt, so you can visualize.
I'm sure. I know for a fact Drake has put some stuff out there on social media, and he's so on top of stuff. He's probably literally creating something right now.
So I'd say we're about a third of the way there. We're gonna be printing these, doing the next and final run. If you have a lady in your life and you like to watch her wander around you with Film Vault gear,
Hey,
we
now.
can do a lady
Yeah.
shirt. I know that a few of our 8% have already requested female shirts, which we can order. We can order exactly whatever size
Ooh,
you need.
nice.
I think we might even be able to do baby wear if you want. So get creative
Oh,
with it.
I'd fit your
Let us-
child.
Let us know.
Ah, nice.
Extra small, we can do youth. A very, very first picture I ever took of anyone in the shirt was Atticus, because I got him one
very nice.
fresh off. I should have got Tessa one, but I didn't want to embarrass you.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Well,
anyways,
she worked at school and got
$50
bullied for it.
delivered to your house if you live in the one, the only, the United States of America. Yeah.
Number one.
And then, I think I might put them up on eBay or something, like buy it now, so that people international eventually, because I know that
Oh, that's
there's
smart.
a shipping
Yeah.
way that you can do it, and then you pay the eBay, and we don't have to deal with all the, because that's a real pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's
shipping
great.
international.
The international.
You got to fill out forms.
No good.
multiple
wait in line.
postages.
We love our international listeners, but come on, I'm gonna do it. I'll do it on eBay. We'll
Smart.
in the coming weeks.
Good,
So,
good.
cool.
Love it. If there's no other business, I want to hear about some films.
Some Fanfliction compiled by Mike Cole.
Still getting used to that.
Well, now you gotta
The Mitch Burns is what we heard for years, you know?
Face to the name, though.
Yeah, I do. I do have a face to Eric
Mike-
Cole's name. I kept calling
Mike
him Eric.
Cole.
Kept calling him
dude.
Eric at the
Yeah.
live show. It was really upsetting to me.
Hey, guy.
You know, I had a lot of misgivings about the live show. I was worried, that it went okay, and I hope that no one left there going, "What the fuck was that?" Or like, I drove all that way for that.
Not complimenting your host.
I feel like many people had a good time. I feel pretty good about it, but I had a
You were
misgiving.
not one of them?
I had a terrible time. Just today, I was thinking, should we have brought everyone who works on the show up on the stage with it at one point or another? We maybe should have done that.
The only reason I would say, I know what you're saying. The only reason I would say no, I feel like with the name tags and the backstage, everyone there got to meet everyone.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I
kind
mean?
of true.
Yeah, it was pretty intimate. If it was like, yeah. If there was
we all
more
had
of a-
that hour plus beforehand where most of all of us were hanging out and
Yeah.
throwing a few back. Okay.
It's a family affair.
Yeah, let's.
Fanfliction. Justin Slice on X. I saw Borderlands.
Oh boy.
It's a bad script, poorly casted, and they destroyed a couple beloved characters. That being said, I still enjoyed it.
Oh no.
There's plenty of good stuff here if you're a fan of the series.
Oh, Mr. Slice.
2.5 stars.
2.5 is enjoying it.
It's hard to believe.
Okay.
Hard to believe. Curtis Helms.
Hey, he won the TV.
That's
TV
right.
man.
Didn't show up.
He
He
doesn't-
was going to show up at his house.
He doesn't have to leave his house again. He's got his own theater
I
now.
was going to say,
The TV's gonna be a no-show for
they
you,
got to
'cause just
strap
like you
the
were.
thing to the roof of the FedEx truck.
Curtis Helms on X. Trap. The central idea is patently absurd. Unfortunately, the
You
rest of
don't
the
say.
movie takes things a bit too seriously to take most of the believability stretching setting. Should have been a straight-up dark comedy. Nothing too bad, but mostly potential left untapped.
The M. Night story.
Just Jason.
I still like the idea of him having to take his daughter to like a Taylor Swift show a few years ago
And fantasizing this whole thing.
and feeling trapped while there, and then just like, you know what? I'm gonna let my mind M Night
Night it up.
it up and just
I
wander.
don't know where it comes from.
Not only being trapped, but having the desire to kill.
Yeah, just like the concession people. Like I'm sure he had some run-ins with them because he was at a concert.
Oh, he envisioned himself as the butcher.
Oh yeah,
Oh, nice.
out of frustration and anger. Yeah, haven't you done that, Brian?
I
I fantasize about killing
only
people
when
in front of
doing
me
the
in
show.
line all the time.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
That's the best part about people being around you.
The best part about like imagination is just imagining killing people. To be honest.
Jason Runyon on X. I was babysitting my nephew, and I took him to see Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Ooh, heard things.
It was absurd, but I loved it.
What?
oh,
I can't watch a movie with Zach Levy, Zoe Deschanel, and Lil Rel Howery and not laugh my butt off.
Balls.
I got you that goddamn book for your kid.
Yeah, have you not seen that movie yet, Brian? What's the matter with you?
It's a lot of fun for a silly kids movie.
Hey, you know what's getting re-released? 15-year anniversary. Coraline. Gonna take the boy.
Still have not seen.
Oh, take the girl.
Take myself.
You gonna see that shit in 3D?
I might. I'm gonna leave it up to the kid.
3D is pretty sweet.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, you saw it in 3D. This was like the first good 3D next to
Coraline?
Beowulf.
Coraline?
Yes, you
Sure?
don't remember this shit?
I
Yes.
don't remember that shit. No.
Yes. It was one of the first where we're like, wait, it's not spoon-fed horse shit?
All right. Maybe Coraline. Buttons for eyes, Brian. Creepy shit. Keeps
Excited.
you up. Keeps you up
Excited.
at night.
And you might need to button it up.
No.
Doesn't it
Coraline?
get a little dusty at the end?
I might.
Isn't
I
there
like
some
that
dust?
Coraline. Got to tell you, I like that Coraline.
It's
quite a
very
bit.
good.
Excited to watch it with the boy. Much more excited to watch that than I was to watch Men in Black last night with him for the first time.
What? Men in
fun.
Black's time.
You know what though? I realized little like freezer moment. What do you call it? Freezer.
Fridge for brilliance.
Fridge. Yeah. I'm watching Men in Black, and I'm like, oh my god, Dax Shepard in Idiocracy is doing Vincent D'Onofrio from Men in Black. There's
Yeah,
a lot of similarities to those two characters.
He's wearing an Edgar suit.
Cody Orton on Facebook. Twisters.
Still.
Harrowing.
Entirely.
Harrowing with good performances, but the script was flawed. Glenn Powell and his crew were a little obnoxious, and as a lifelong Missouri resident,
How they were supposed to be.
when tornadoes start popping, we don't have rodeos, we don't have festivals or softball games. We grab the wife, kids, and dog and go to the fucking basement until shit blows over.
I would think so.
These townspeople have few life skills.
Well, it's because they're written by fucking like snowflake liberals who have
Left
no
coast
idea how
liberals,
they
yeah.
actually live. Yeah.
West Coast Whitey.
Yep.
Britton Poole on Instagram. I watched The Instigators on Apple TV.
They could have gotten so political twisters with just like Trump flags flying into the
Getting ripped off poles. Getting ripped off trucks.
They should just be honest with their writings. Just really lean in. That'd be fun.
Yeah, the Trump flag truck like just drives in there like, yeehaw.
I think maybe that's what what's his name's character was kind of supposed to be. Maybe.
J.D. Vance is trying to keep the rodeo going.
Yeah, seriously.
so upsetting.
That's Vance's laugh.
So upsetting.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, he wrote. J.D. Vance wrote Hillbilly Elegy, right?
Well, he wrote the book.
Yeah, well, source material, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that could have been on our list.
Non-traditional. That is very traditional.
Non-traditional. I mean, in the sense that guy.
That it's a vice presidential nominee that's writing.
I find
God,
it
I hated parts of that movie so much. I think I liked some parts of that movie, but for the most part, Hillbilly Elegy left a bad taste.
Yeah.
When he got really mad because somebody called him a hillbilly and he acted like that was his N-word, I'm like, what are we doing here?
I just like that movie. I didn't know who J.D. Vance was. I'd never seen.
I don't think
or heard.
anyone.
Yeah, I don't think anyone
Yeah,
did.
I just knew the movie was mediocre at best. Anyway, sorry.
Instigators.
Lackluster
Heist film gone wrong. The movie lacked the comedy necessary to actually make it work, like, say, in Ocean's 11.
Bostonian.
And the direction was so absurd with all the quick shots that it was hard to pay attention to the actual plot.
I feel like Doug Liman kind of does one for the studio or for the streaming
that's
service,
Doug Liman?
and
Yeah.
then does one for himself. I hope. I think.
Spooky Donkey 513 on Reddit.
Whoa,
Cuckoo.
wait, there's that many spooky donkeys
There's
on
a lot
Reddit?
of quite a few. Quite a few. Good bit. Cuckoo, my favorite horror movie of the
Seriously,
year.
though, how could you not have Spooky Donkey? At least 3 or something.
Perhaps 513 is an area code.
Perhaps. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Cuckoo, my favorite horror movie of the year so far. The setting of a resort in a remote part of the German Alps made for incredible scenery. Hunter Schafer crushed the lead role as Gretchen, and Dan Stevens was excellent as the main antagonist.
Oh, Dan Stevens, back in my heart.
The origins of what drove the plot were slightly confusing for me, but didn't hold the movie back too much. It's a must-see for horror fans, in my opinion. 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'm just realizing now I saw the trailer and fucking need to see this movie now.
Yep.
AMC app incoming. Our very own Drake on Instagram.
Drake.
I saw the re-release of Lawrence of Arabia over the weekend.
God.
A blind spot.
Indeed.
It is beautiful on the big screen, and I can see why it's a classic. People might get bumped seeing Obi-Wan Kenobi in brown face, but the overall film proves to be epic in every way, mostly for the better. I should probably stop writing now because I'm still in the theater. Only 5 more hours of the movie to go. Well done, Drake.
He's still there.
Well done. Thus concludes
I saw
the
that for the
Fanflickssions.
first time, I think, when I had COVID.
Oh, yeah?
I died fucking days to kill.
Did you flick fast?
Oh, yeah.
God, I don't remember this show. Do not remember this show.
I probably sacrilegiously said it was okay.
Oh, I'm on record saying I do not like.
I remember there were certainly epic parts of it that were impressive, especially for the time. That said, boy, it was a chore.
My problem is I didn't really enjoy Lawrence or what he was putting down. It was a long time to spend with that man in the desert.
T. Lawrence.
You better like your walking mate, like your camel.
Good stuff
So-
with the train, though.
There is some really good stuff in there, obviously.
Yeah, great battle scenes.
All right, let's talk movie. What do you want to do first? What do you want to do? The old Sing Sing, Kneecap, Borderlands. You want to flush Borderlands and then get on to it?
Yeah, let's. I'll talk Borderlands real quick. Borderlands is a 2024 film directed by Eli Roth, mostly starring Kate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, Edgar Ramirez, Adriana Greenblatt, Jamie Lee Curtis, Bobby Lee, Gina Gershon, and the voice of Jack Black. 8% Rotten Tomatoes. This is in theaters now. This began shooting, Anderson. You know when it began production?
I'm going to go with like 2019.
April of 2021.
That's quite a while.
It's a long time. Long time. Tim Miller supposedly did extensive reshoots and yet did not want his name attached anywhere.
It started with somebody who actually gave a shit and then was passed off, wasn't it? For the initial adaptation?
I don't know. Well, I assume this is one of those that has been in development for a long time because it's you might know more than me, Avery, but it's a popular video game.
The game's old. The game's like 15 years old.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I assume as soon as the game got a foothold as being extremely popular, they started to, poke around. Hey, who's interested in this?
But this is kind of a long string of movies where it's late. Like Halo, very late. This, very late.
Oddly, like, is Borderlands still relevant?
Yes, but less so. It's
Okay.
certainly just like Halo's still relevant, but less so. It's kind of like this would have been great 10 years ago. And they're
Gotcha.
just now, I don't know why they feel it's safe to do it now
Hollywood's
instead of
got
the height of its power. I don't know.
A very weird relationship, obviously, with video games, and they see video games have been coming and have eclipsed them, and I think video games make more money than movies do now. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
sure.
Do you think is that part of it? They're afraid to promote it and feed into that trend?
Could be. I mean, I don't mind if that is their issue, because
I could see
for the
that.
most part, I don't want my movies coming from video games, but maybe that's just old man Andy coming out.
That's maybe one of the best arguments I've heard for why they haven't, because it seems baffling
It is,
otherwise.
but I mean, a lot of the time too, like there's like 5 companies making movies and 5 to 10 companies making video games. I mean, I might be out of turn here a little bit, but I would imagine that there's a lot of crossover, and they own the intellectual property. Maybe the stories are just too vast, and they don't know how to actually whittle them down. And maybe they're just the sense actually prevails, and they're like, let's not try and make a game or a movie out of something where I don't know. I would find it very frustrating if I was like in love with one of these games to watch one of these shows, because
I'd imagine you would.
well, I mean, the reason why I don't play games is because I'm obsessive, right?
You get sunk.
I've talked about I lose
You go
myself
to the
in
sunken
them.
place.
And a lot of it is control, and having absolute and total control over your environment, your story, and what you're doing. And then you lose all that when you're like, I would imagine it would feel like I felt when I watched Matrix 2, where it felt like watching somebody else play a video game, and I had no control over the boring scenes that I was watching.
Well, speaking of boring scenes, fun fact, this premiered at the TCL Chinese Theaters just 2 days after our live show.
Oh, really? It was that recent? I guess so, yeah.
I guess so.
We could have camped out.
Did no one show up?
But a couple
carpet
guys
was just-
lingered around after our live show.
Just a cricket riding a tumbleweed, like Zach Galifianakis
So,
would say?
so here's right away, instantly, like in the opening narration from Kate Blanchett, there was instantly a problem. So, okay, I have to assume that this is the same as the game. It takes place on the planet Pandora. But Pandora is well known at this point as the planet in Avatar. And much like, for example, The Last Airbender, you're allowed to like change things because now they conflict retroactively with other properties, right?
Well,
'Cause-
this was started, so it was before.
right. What I'm saying is
They
The
started the
Last
movie
Airbender
before.
was called Avatar, The Last Airbender. They changed it so as not to be confused, ironically, with Avatar.
Coincidentally.
What I'm saying is
Nicely
perhaps
done.
they should have changed the name of Pandora to literally anything else.
Right.
But here we are.
Are you really going to get hung up on a name when there's probably
No,
myriad
I'm trying to set the
issues?
table for here I am 8 seconds into this movie and I'm already
already
I'm already
I
bothered.
was suggesting they started production on this movie before Avatar. That was my hilarious joke because
Yeah.
it's been in production for a
You know
long
what?
time.
That's not bad. I
It was
don't mind
missed. The joke was missed, went way over your head. Yes.
That's it. There is so much in this movie that just feels lazily taken from other properties. Now, it might be the video game. I don't know the source material that well, but like there are almost literal Star Wars stormtroopers in this movie. The same helmet, almost in a dark helmet kind of way from Spaceballs, where like their voice is comically different. Like
So
it was-
the tone of the game is very much that. It's very
okay.
like a high school bald Bryan, if he played
Oh, yeah.
games, would have fucking loved
I would have
this
loved
game.
this. Yeah, for
It's
sure.
it's very inside tongue in cheek in that Spaceballs-ish thing where a lot of like the names of items or characters will be that kind of play on words or
Okay.
allusion to a larger
Something
popular
else.
culture,
Okay.
and they're lampooning it. So it's very tongue
So
in
it's
cheek.
timely.
But it's also unlike this.
15 years
The
ago.
game is R-rated, so you'll have like stuff like people cutting off people's dicks and throwing cats in blender, like shit like that, where they'll go for it and it'll be played for laughs that someone's
this
a cannibal.
movie really could have used that.
But this movie, I heard,
very sanitized.
removed all of that kind of edge or bite it might have had.
How do you sit down in a meeting and make that decision?
Okay, so
Like the teenagers love this 15 years ago. Those guys are like 25 years old now.
let's dumb it
30
down.
years old.
Let's
And are in a position to like
Maybe we
write
can
it and
make
work on
They'll
it,
want to bring their kids maybe to this, and
or
we
just
can-
them.
No, but like I'm saying, why dumb it down to pieces?
Yeah, why water it down?
Financially.
Now that's interesting because as I'm getting annoyed in this movie, and there are many annoying opportunities. For example, there are characters who are meant to be wacky and silly. And Avery, now that you told me this, they would have been a hard R if they'd have been faithful to the source material.
Yes.
But in fact, it's just characters that are meant to be wacky and funny are distractingly annoying. Jack Black, who is very funny, I think got some very bad direction at one point and is very, very, very tough to listen to, much like myself.
How so? Like, what's he doing?
Is very annoying. Have you heard
Is the
clips?
character very annoying?
Have you heard clips? I can't do the voice.
I mean, I've seen the very energetic trailer that if I didn't know better, would have fallen for.
Everything he says, he yells and is like said in a high pitch. You know what? Do your voice where you're like, oh boy, that's me.
I don't do.
When you make fun of me.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
When you say
It's
like,
so-
oh boy, I hope I get the whatever.
Just let me know if it comes up.
God damn,
I don't
you
even
know-
know.
you
I don't
know-
know voices. I'm not like a voice guy.
That's
see.
do your impression of me.
Hello, I'm Brian. I know many things.
Oh boy, I hope Transformers is good.
All right. Oh boy.
There you
Is
go.
that
Remember
it?
the original.
It's a little like that, but it's
I
like
honestly do not know. Okay, so just let's just continue.
No, they're not doing it.
apologize.
Boo! They're not doing his voice.
You know, I mean, I'm
You're
missing
trying
much.
to get the voice.
That's it. Sorry. This is all.
Wait,
to
I might
say.
have a little bit.
It was an executive decision.
Damn it, he's just
I
gonna
wanted
talk
rock,
about it.
The colors of the Borderlands. Games
well,
that
if he
become
knows
just as
that it's
big
bad, why would he do it
than
on
Damn
the
it.
carpet?
Yeah, I can't.
Sorry.
Try.
Okay. Oh, you know what? It reminded me of, in a way, what's her face from Nope? Oh, not Nope. Us. Where it was like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
that's
Is
a
she gonna do
choice.
this?
Just very
I don't
grating.
Know that
This
I don't
whole
know that
movie?
I would go for that, but that was a choice. That said, I'm sitting here being annoyed by this movie relentlessly. And I had like a moment, like an epiphany. I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of people in this town, a lot of professionals, a lot of hardworking people who are saddled with a dog like this. Like, you know, maybe they do the sound editing, for example, or the set design,
Or
or
like
the
that guy
costumes.
that you know.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, this is not a good movie, but they're going to put in the work and they're going to do their best. I'm watching like the set design and I'm like, you know what? Whoever like worked on this making sets, and granted a lot of it is digital, but there's some sets. I'm like, someone really busted their ass
Yeah.
working on the sets here.
You can think that with every movie you see.
And then I thought that with the costume, I'm like, this movie's awful, but there are some people and some teams who really busted their ass, and it's not their fault that it's bad.
And it seems like it looks like the source material in terms of the
It loo-
costume in the world.
You know what? To his credit, it did not offend me through its visuals.
Yeah, I mean, all professionals are going to show up, and especially heads of department are going to like make sure that their department is buttoned up and taking care of business and doing what they're expected to do. It's a shame when that much money and that many professionals all get together and and all the pieces are there, but the thing that actually matters most is dog shit, and that happens not as much as you would think, or not as much as it used to happen, but it still
True,
happens. It still
absolutely.
happens. But yeah, that's I didn't want to. Yeah, I didn't want to shovel that.
So the movie is very bad, but it's a baby in the bathwater situation where, hey, listen, let's not denigrate every piece of this movie. That said, for example, Avery, I'm sorry to say, this movie made me like Tar a little bit less.
No.
Like Kate
Because of
Blanchett
Kate?
That's painful.
she's doing the work, but now I think of her a little more of this and a little less
see?
of
A little
Tar.
less tar,
One more
yeah.
reason. One more like.
Oh, there's
Did her
robot.
kids need braces? Why did she take this role?
There's robot poop here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. All right, I think we've all heard enough of Borderland, and I think that maybe it is the type of movie we would want to, like, he's still looking at notes. Like,
The villain is not nearly villainous enough.
maybe we do watch this, or the next one that comes along that's like
Well,
this.
here's the problem: the action, which is wall to wall, is both it's both very dull, but yet mind-numbingly
Yeah.
overwhelming.
So were you kind of bored? Like, that's how I feel.
Yes.
With, like
I was
how most
thinking of you
people-
actually a lot during this. Like Anderson is bored during good fight scenes.
Yeah. Transformers, I would think, is how I would
Yeah,
feel.
that's
Now-
mediocre.
Now, Fallout is a good comp, I think. It's a newer game, but that's a game that they made into
And
a
a
series.
similar sense of humor in the same kind
similar
of
tone.
vein. I think this is a little more excessive and on
Jumanji.
the nose.
Jumanji's another.
Yeah.
another comp, I think.
Oh,
right?
mind you, having seen those now via Tessa, those are much, much better than this.
Right. Well, it sounds like everything is.
Yeah, most things are.
Yeah.
This is one of the worst movies
So
I've
why
seen
we?
this year.
I mean, I'm sticking with it, and this is just a great example as to why I should do this.
Sure.
If I feel like a movie is not going to be enjoyed by myself, unless I have to see it for some reason, I think I'm going to let you do the heavy lifting there,
Why not see Borderlands?
and I'm going to watch Kneecap. You ready to watch a little Kneecap?
I'd like to hear this. I don't
All right,
know
first,
much
we got
about
to do
it.
a little ad break.
We got to take a
Take
little
a break. Coming up next, we'll do Kneecap. Yeah, welcome back. I want to hear about Kneecap from you.
All right, Kneecap is an Irish film that
I'm out.
The listeners have filled in quite nicely over the last few years since Netflix has let us all down by going to their thumbs up, thumbs down. What do you think of this movie here? Rather than like saying Netflix will remember when they're like Netflix will think they predict that you're going to like this like a 4.3 or a 4.
Can they sell that to someone else
dead on
so
with
people
me.
can use that?
They
Because
were
that was
so
brilliant.
Good. It was so good. I don't know, and then they just started trying to push
Whoa,
their own movies.
Kneecap's 97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Settle
Gotta
down,
go
Brett.
see this.
Settle down, Brad. So, anyways, the listeners have been great, and friends of mine as well, if I can call them that. Yeah, they're friends. But yeah, I've been hearing from a number of people that like, hey, have you seen Kneecap yet? This is an Anderson movie. Got to see the Kneecap. So it was a little bit oversold to me
You don't say.
because it didn't change my life. The last time this happened, it was a movie called Dinner in America, which did change my life. That said, Kneecap is a fantastic movie. Excited to talk to you guys all about it. It's playing limited theater run right now, and I'm sure it will be available for rent very soon. But try and get it out there and see it in the theater. I saw the first 10 minutes of it in the theater. More on that later. So it's directed by Richard Pepiot, and it's starring
Love that guy.
Moglai Bap,
He's
Mo
great.
Chara, DJ Provi.
He's not as good.
Provi.
He's
And
up and coming.
the movie is very political. It takes place in Ireland during the Troubles,
You
Brian.
don't say.
No, it's not during the Troubles. It's after the Troubles. There are no Troubles going on. The Troubles have ended pretty much, but it's kind of the fallout from that. It's these teenagers,
No, Borderlands.
early 20s. They're like post high school, and they're this rap duo, and they're drug dealers, and they're drug doers, and they're miscreants, and we get a flashback sequence early in the movie with one of their dads is because they're like friends, but one of their dads is Michael Fassbender.
Nice.
And Michael Fassbender is for the cause, right? He's during the Troubles, and he's like one of the leading guys for the Republican Irish Army, and he's saying
Close enough.
yeah, the IRA, the Irish Republican Army, and what
Close
isn't
enough.
it?
I think it's Republic. I could be wrong about that.
I'm pretty sure Republicans are.
I could be wrong.
Because there's the RRAD, Republicans Against Drugs, play a big part in this
It's
movie.
an individual retirement account.
Oh, I got one of
IRA.
those.
So he's teaching them Irish, right, which is a dying language, and there's very few Irish speakers left in Ireland. Now, we're not going to go through all of the history of Ireland and England and so many other countries in England, but the 26 plus 6 equals 1, and Northern Ireland, and the Troubles, and how many movies have we seen about this? Going back to Hunger, where it's interesting that I believe Fassbender's playing the same character that he played in Hunger, which is fucking awesome, which is that Steve McQueen movie.
McQueen?
God damn, Hunger's good. What's that? I can't see without my glasses.
Republican. Irish Republican Army. You're right.
Apologies to our Irish
You're 0 for
listeners.
2, bruh. So anyways, he's talking to these two younger kids about teaching them Irish, like the actual native language. Tells them to go home. Tells his son's friend to go home and watch a cowboy movie, but watch it from the Native Americans' point of view. He's down for the cause. It's a repressed people, and we flash forward to all these years later when these two kids, still very, very close, they're like in their early 20s, still speaking the Irish to each other, selling drugs at a club, getting pinched. One of them's getting pinched. He's getting interrogated, and he's only speaking Irish, and he's refusing to speak English to the interrogator, and she's getting very mad, and they're all getting very mad, and the guy that's interrogating the cops, the peelers, they call them, are getting very mad, and he's like, I'm only going to speak Irish, and then they bring in an interpreter who is just a high school teacher. Long story short, this high school teacher and these two drug dealers all make an unlikely friendship.
Nice.
And create music. He's also the music teacher.
Nice.
This guy, this DJ, and the movie is kinetic. It's fast-paced. It's fun. It's hard to understand. There's a lot of subtitles because they're speaking Irish throughout the fucking movie.
Bad news.
The tone is very like quick-witted, funny. It reminds me a little of Attack the Block from way back when, and political for sure. And I was like, it's hard not to watch this movie and think like there's so many parallels with everything that's been happening in the United States and every repressed group, but it's always strange to see it with like white people against white people, which has been going on in Ireland for decades, for forever now, and them using
centuries,
centuries, and then but them using rap to get their word out. And they're the first band, the first group to use Irish in rap. Like no one's ever used the native tongue, and it's going like there's bands going on within the movie of Irish being spoken. You're not allowed to speak Irish, and they don't want to teach in the schools anymore. And the Crown is still repressing. And these guys come out and they make a very a group that's getting traction while giving away free drugs at their show. It's just a lot of fun. Drugs are never to a degree of irresponsibility and possibly harm. The drugs are never considered bad in this movie. They do drugs to get creative and make art, and they're successful with it. That thing where we've all seen it too many times?
No consequences.
No consequence. That thing where like people are tripping and it's like, oh no, they're like doing a warbly thing on the camera, or
camera goes Dutch.
And Brian becomes a talking rabbit, and there's some bullshit.
A lot of that in this movie, and the first one that had happened within the first 5 minutes of the movie, I'm like, oh no, and it was supposed to be really funny, I think, and I wasn't quite on board yet. By the time the movie was over, they did it like probably half a dozen times. There was a few that were very funny, actually made me laugh, and were clever and creative. The really cool thing about this movie is these three guys that make up Kneecap, 2 rappers and a DJ, are the actual guys. And this is all a true story. And they just, the director made a video with them, and he's like, we could just make a full feature-length narrative with you guys. You're like,
about this
you got
story.
Enough charisma, and you
enough
guys can play yourselves. And they did. And it's a really fun movie. A lot of like, that Scott Pilgrim thing where they write on the screen, squiggles, and that helps it. That gives it some more legs.
This is sounding promising. How many transforming robots?
There's zero, Brett. I'm sorry to tell you, but ultimately, it's just another. What I was starting to say is like, with the rap and like the white oppressed Irish, they do at one point mention like, look at it gave black people a voice in America. Why can't in the United States? Why can't it do the same for Irish people here? Rap, that is. And I really like this movie. It's a lot of fun. It's enjoyable.
Do they make a song called "Fuck the Peelers"?
You know what? I think some of the songs, especially the very last song, I was liking. But for me to really like be in love with this movie, I think I would have had to have enjoyed.
Love the music,
and it's hard to love the music because they're speaking Irish, right? And I don't speak Irish, so they got the.
Didn't realize that was is it like Gaelic? Like, is it a specific dialect?
They're just calling it Irish in the movie.
Okay.
Don't. You're
Sorry,
0 for 2 so far. So.
Well, I'm not claiming to know.
Bobby Sands is who Michael Fassbender plays.
Oh yeah.
Who he played the actual Bobby Sands in Hunger. From my research, anyways. You remember Hunger, right?
No, I
you
haven't
haven't seen Hunger. It's upsetting. But yeah, it's a funny movie, even though it's covering some pretty dark stuff. A lot of it's about the trauma of the youth after the Troubles and how it's like Belfast. Remember that movie Belfast with by Kenneth Branagh? It's like that, but fucking awesome. Goddamn Belfast. And it's very self-aware. Like, it opens up with cars bombing and all this footage of actual shit going down, and you hear the voiceover, and he's like, every fucking movie about Belfast always starts like this.
Remember when it looked like Belfast was going to win Best Picture?
Oh Christ, that fucking
was
movie.
tough.
Get that fucking movie out.
Those are
Get
dark,
the fuck
those are
out
dark
of here.
days.
That's like the epitome of what
that
I
was
hate.
my troubles.
I think good one. I think Borderlands is less offensive than Belfast. Something parading around as though like it's predetermined art. Get the fuck out of here.
At least Borderlands knows what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Shit. All
That's right.
Stop me. It's kind of like a liberal who's like virtue signaling online constantly about how they do all this shit for people, and it's like, look at you, you're doing nothing.
Relax.
You're fucking ivory tower. That's what Belfast is to me.
You're doing some typing though, some good tweets.
Who's tweeting? Oh, who is
that liberal you're talking about?
Oh yeah.
Finger
Taking
sore.
some good pictures.
Finger sore from typing.
Like walking home from the grocery store and like passing an encampment and selfieing like a picture with him with his groceries, like he's, and then he just keeps walking to his house with the groceries. That kind of shit happens.
Oh yeah,
that kind of shit happens.
You're right.
Okay.
Painting their abs with the Irish flag.
What else did I want to say about the old? Did I take? No, I don't know.
You said it was a worse version of Belfast.
I did not say anything of the nature. Nothing
All
of
the
nature.
songs that are memorable.
The last one was good. They used the word "fuck up" a lot too, which is like instead of "fuck off," "fuck up." Fuck up. I like that.
Huh? Not bad.
Didn't I hate it? No, it's a good movie. Kneecap's a fun ride.
Will you be watching this with your in-laws?
Will I be watching this with?
Your in-laws, your father-in-law, your mother.
No, he's a very British man.
Yeah, but that's not part of the world. I imagine does he not like Ireland?
I don't know why I would watch this with my British father-in-law.
He's trying to stir the pot.
What are you doing, Brian? What are you
I'm
doing?
just wondering if it's a future date.
Straw that stirs the drink.
I like the guys. I especially like them because they're playing themselves.
These guys are D'Anford.
What?
These guys or D'Anford?
Yeah, there's definitely some similarities there. I was thinking it felt a little D'Anford at times.
If you had to choose, though.
I mean, D'Anford's, I have a longer history with them. There's also some stuff about child abuse that's come out in recent months or years, and it's troubling. It's the troubles.
Troubles.
Yeah. All right, let's talk Sing Sing.
Sing Sing.
That was Kneecap. The Kneecap is the name of the movie. Kneecap.
Sing Sing is a 2024 film directed by Greg Quidar.
Oh, can I tell you about Kneecap real quick?
Please.
I'm sorry. So, I don't do
You
many.
sounded a little Irish right there.
I do that sometimes. I don't do many matinees. I don't allow myself to do matinees. First of all, since the fucking pandemic, we don't really see many matinees. But Atticus went back to school on Friday, and I'm like, you know what? I had a screening link on its way, but I'm like, I'd rather see Kneecap in the theater. Why not? I can do it's like a 45-minute round trip drive to Burbank for me, and it was playing at a time that I could get back in time to pick up Atticus. So I'm like, fucking do this. I drive all the way goddamn down there. I was just there the night before for Sing Sing, Brian.
Nice.
Fucking Burbank, swallowing up all the movies I got to see. Burbank, just to let you know, is it's like a 30-minute drive.
It wasn't
for me.
playing closer to you?
No, it hasn't been, Brian. More on that
No,
later.
neither of these.
Kneecap was playing at my house because I had a screening link, but
Right,
I'm like,
but
I'm
you
gonna
wanted
go.
to see in the theater. My point is there was no theater
Sing Sing-
accessible.
No, for Sing Sing nor Kneecap. So I go in. I sit through all the goddamn trailers. I should have just. I'm mad.
Burbank's an
immediately.
easy drive for you.
I'm watching.
You were kneecapped by Sing Sing.
It's the smallest theater I've been in years. Like there's maybe 15 seats in this Burbank theater.
Oh.
And
Is it like the old ones we used to go to with the lounge or the couches? Remember my theater up the street?
no, it's way smaller than that. Did that have theaters that small?
Yeah, it had like 7 couches.
A very small theater. This was very small screen. Everything was just small. I'm like, I could watch this at home, barely tell the difference. So I was annoyed, but I'm already out there. Movie starts. 10 minutes in, my phone starts lighting up. Right, and it's not making noise. Don't worry, guys. Everyone settle down. But it's lighting up, and I look, and it's my kid's school. It's Atticus' school. I'm like, oh Christ. So I let it go to voicemail, and then I quietly listen to the voicemail, and they're like, yes, hello, sir, Mr. Cohen. Your son is here at school with a cast, and he's not allowed to have a cast at school, so he's in the nurse's office.
What?
Are you goddamn kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? And he's got like 2 more hours, maybe 3 more hours of school. So I'm
Can't have
like,
a cast?
not allowed to have a cast in modern school system. So,
What?
It's a cast system.
So and what sucks
Well done.
is he was already there on Friday. It was his second day of school. No problem Friday, but now today he's got a 10-minute. The movie had started 10 minutes ago, right? He was like he was running from the cops with the drugs. Not even 10 minutes.
Your son?
No, the fucking Kneecap kid. So I get up. There's more to the story, right? And it's worthy to tell. So I get up quietly. I'm sitting in the back row of this tiny theater, so I felt like the front row. I mean, it was really, really small, guys. It's Theater 8 in the town center, Burbank 8.
Oh,
if you're from
that
out
one.
here. Have you been there? No. Shut up, Brian. So I get up quietly, right? And I start walking out, and I hear people going, "What was that? What? And I'm like, oh, Christ, because the theater's so small that the projector is like right there, and I'm like, my head, my dumb fucking head, because you have to duck under the
Oh,
projector.
sure.
It's that goddamn small. So I'm like, my head probably went in front of it, and like, it's just such a faux
What
pas.
was that?
Like it's old Jewish. I'm
Like there's
what
no
was-
context.
What was that? So I'm like, oh Christ. So I'm scuttling out, right? And I get my keys and my phones, and I'm walking out. And now this woman's coming up behind me. I'm like, oh Christ, she's gonna yell at me for putting my head like in front of the projector by mistake. It was like, like in school back in the day.
Yeah.
And she goes, did you feel that? I'm like, feel what? She goes, that earthquake. I'm like, no, I just got up. Maybe am I that big? I got up. And she goes, no, there's
Did
an
it bump your
earthquake.
seat?
And I'm like, there was? I'm like, oh, okay. And then she's like, I'm going to go make sure everything's okay. So she's walking to the lobby. I'm like,
Well, Burbank was a lot closer to the epicenter, actually.
Oh, yeah, it was right there.
I didn't feel it at all.
It was a big one.
I got up right at the moment that the earthquake was happening, and I was furious. So I go out, and I call my kid's school, thinking that maybe, long story short, they answer. They're in a panic. They're like, we're evacuating. Call back. I'm like, so I go down. 45 minutes later, I'm at my kid's school picking him up, saying, yes, can I get a casted kid?
All hell breaks loose.
It really was. It was awful. And
It was so mild.
I had to get a fucking note from my doctor.
And you
from
still
his doctor.
enjoyed Kneecap.
What do you mean a note? Like it's a counterfeit
note-
cast?
Well, what does the note mean?
Jillian explained
Like you
the whole
added
thing.
your own fucking cast?
Jillian works for the county, so she gets all of this.
But wait, what does
shit.
the note say?
The note says, yes, Atticus has a cast, and he's
That's not obvious?
He's allowed to go back to school. He's not limited.
Oh,
and
for
he can wear a
Christ's sake.
sling if need be, and that's it. Now,
This is
Jillian
awful.
explained this to me. She goes, now the school's off the hook, and if anything happens with Atticus's cast, they can blame the doctor, and they can point to the doctor. And the doctor gets sued instead of the school.
Oh,
Is this
great.
new bullshit?
New bullshit, yeah.
I never heard this.
Well, it's new to me. I mean, it's been a long time since I've had to deal with, LAUSD, but yep. All right.
Sing Sing. It's a 2024 film.
So I tried to see the movie, and then I went home and I had it on my computer and I watched it on my computer. But they wouldn't let me cast it to my TV, so I had to
Oh.
watch it on my little laptop.
Oh, because you didn't have a doctor's note.
No, but like there's Sony Classics very, very careful with like not letting their IP get away from them.
Sure.
So I wasn't able to watch it on the big screen at my house either. Sucks.
You didn't, apparently, you had to watch it on the big screen in the theater either. Very medium screen.
Medium screen, and I got called out because of cast and earthquakes. All right,
Sing Sing.
sing.
2024 film directed by Greg Quidar, starring Coleman Domingo, Paul Racy, who you might know from The Sound of Metal. He was so excellent as the counselor. Clarence Devine I. Macklin and Sean San Jose also star in this. 97% of Rotten Tomatoes. This is in theaters now. Goddamn mosquitoes. Okay. I expect to hear a lot about this, Anderson, come the award season.
I hope so. I hope so. This movie is being criminally overlooked right now.
Very much so. I didn't know what to expect, to be fair, going in. I just had a vague understanding, but I was very impressed, not just with the movie, but the filmmaking.
So yeah, it's shot on 16 millimeter, and that's quite apparent because you can actually see some flaws in the actual print a few times, which I'm not opposed to. I like that. It makes me feel like I'm watching movies like I used to watch them. Every movie you young kids listening right now who've only seen digital projections, every movie we would go see, even brand new prints the night they came out, there were still flaws. We would see little hairs in the gate, and especially if you go see a movie that's been running for like a month or so. Avery, do you remember ever going to see like actual film prints?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So nowadays everything's digital projected, but still like you got to transfer the film if it's shot on actual film, which this one was, and the telecine was a little bit, I guess, rough around the edges. It gave it more of a raw feel.
I assume that was intentional.
I don't think so, no, because
Oh,
it was
really?
very rare. Like every now and again, like there'd be one frame where you could just see like a scratch on it, or maybe 2 or 3 frames where there's just a scratch on it. It wasn't intentional. So the story,
In today's day and age, you don't think that's intentional?
no, not when they're shooting 16 millimeter film. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, I think they shot 16 millimeter film
Yeah.
intentionally to give it a little bit more of an intimate feel. I didn't love the cinematography, but we're not going to go on that because I really did like the performances, and I liked the story, and I liked, I guess gimmick is not the fair word, but so the story is about
It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick that works.
a performing arts group that was born in Sing Sing which is a maximum security
Federal prison, right? New
federal
York.
prison, maximum security in New York. And there is an art program, a performing art program that was put together there some years ago. And a number of the inmates were a part of this group, and it helped them find their humanity, and it helped them escape from their daily horrific routine that is
Yes.
Sing Sing.
Much like you'd be peeling potatoes or making license plates, some inmates were able to enroll in this acting program.
And this movie is that story, or at least a slice of life from that story. And they use the actual, other than Coleman Domingo, they used a bunch of the actual
Graduates,
inmates.
alumni
Yeah.
of the program.
And
Actual former inmates, or I assume former and current.
now there's some really good drama here. There's some really heartfelt moments. I'm expecting it to go one way and be real formulaic, but it didn't go down that
Yeah,
path.
to his credit, it avoided a few pitfalls.
It did avoid a few other things too, which I think didn't quite give it the heft that it needed from me.
Yeah, I didn't find it to be powerful. I found it to be poignant.
There were some powerful performances,
Yeah.
and there were some,
There are elements that are, for sure.
and maybe they
Sorry,
just,
when I say powerful, I mean like grand or sweeping.
maybe they're just sparing us from the horrors of prison because they feel like we've already seen that. They didn't,
Yeah.
but I needed to see what they're escaping a little bit more, just to remind myself, of their daily
Sure.
routine.
You wanted some shower rape.
I needed some violence maybe, and it's not like I was craving it. It was just like that would have raised the stakes because we're spending time watching these guys rehearse a comedy for most of the movie, but it's not very comedic. It's high drama, and I'm not really seeing the life that they're trying to avoid. So
It
that was
a little
the
strange
disconnect.
That they alluded to. What were they alluded to? Doing like whatever it was, The Tempest or some actual play, and then this one's like, hey, I'll write it overnight. You know what I mean? Based on your guys' suggestions. That was all weird, but I'd quibble.
Yeah, it was a little weird, and I think it was goofy, and it was all based on an actual thing that
Right.
happened. They actually did this crazy play, and we get to see some clips from it at the end of the movie, which I like, right? And we all like it when we see the
that
actual.
was cool.
And we got to see a lot of the actual guys that were in those plays in Sing Sing, including Clarence
Divine
Macklin, who
Eye.
Divine Eye. If this guy's not up for Best Supporting Actor, he's got to be a front runner
He's
right
great.
now. This is the only movie he's ever been in. He spent 15 years in Sing Sing. He was a part of this group. He fell into it. I read a few things about him. This guy is such a fucking powerful actor.
Yeah.
We all love Coleman Domingo. It was great seeing him again. He gets out-acted a couple times, I think, almost.
Oh, his screen presence is great.
It's so natural and good. And,
He's charismatic.
and charismatic and menacing, and he's able to switch. And it's with his character that I was afraid they're going to go down the tropey road, and did not. And it felt a little rushed at times, and it could have used. It's rare that I want like another 20 minutes in a movie, but that's definitely this movie. This movie could have been, just over 2 hours, and I would have enjoyed it that much more. I think that it was missing a little heft for me, for it to be like an important, powerful movie that sticks with you for decades. It's not that, but his performance is going to stick with me for sure.
I still think elements of this movie are going to stick with me for a long, long time. The I Thought of Your movie, not Groupers, of course.
Loaded for Bear.
Loaded for Bear,
Yeah,
the
there's a lot
way
of
that they
similarities there.
incorporate very authentic people in certain roles.
Yeah, and that I was told that I should see this movie sooner or
told
later,
by me.
just because. Was it you that said? But yeah, there are definitely a lot of overlap and similarities, and it's
Just a sniff.
it's a theater group, it's an acting group, and it's like you said, it's going to be the actual like in the movie, and it's almost like a documentary. This movie, it's almost like they're
Yeah, it's the most documentary feeling narrative film I may have ever seen.
But it's while the cinematography wasn't I didn't love it, and I'm not going to be naming
Well,
the
they're
cinematographer
going
there,
for.
but they weren't going for that documentary handheld feel throughout either.
You
a lot
don't
of it
think?
was a lot of it was locked down. A lot of it was on tripod sticks and tripod.
Sure, but
Mike,
Yeah, but-
we call them sticks in the business, but Mike hates it when we call them sticks. We got to call them tripods. So now I'm like, fuck, do I say
you're
sticks and sound like a douche?
self-conscious.
But no, yeah, there's definitely camera operations here that weren't like handheld.
Of course, but not all documentaries are handheld. You can have a camera on a stick.
Well, for
That's
sure,
work.
I know, but they weren't overdoing the like we're in the room.
Yeah,
with
the
these guys.
verite flying the wall.
Yeah, it wasn't, but it did feel like what was it Nomad?
I thought it was way better than Nomadland.
Nomadland? I don't know about way better, but
I enjoyed it way more.
yeah, this movie goes down like it's maybe the smoothest prison film you could imagine.
Yeah.
You know?
And ironically, the most authentic. Right?
Yeah, and it earns it, and it's authentic for a reason. That said, but maybe that's going to re-traumatize it. It already re-traumatized a lot of these guys. Have to go back to the place that they are incarcerated for all those years and putting on the
that's I didn't know.
the jumpsuits again. And I was trying to figure out, especially with Clarence, because he's such a great actor. I'm like, please don't tell me he's in there for like. I don't think they would have given him an opportunity if he was in there for like rape or like killing kids or something. He was in there for 15 years for robbery. I don't know what the robbery entailed, but I did do some digging to try and make sure that I wasn't rooting for an absolute monster. But this guy, there's a scene where,
Wrong team.
just to give you a little taste, if we haven't sold you yet, because I think we both highly recommend this movie.
Yeah.
There's a scene in the movie where they're rehearsing for the play. Clarence has gotten a part. Won't give anything that away, but Divine Eye's got a part, and he's reading his lines, and the blocking for the scene calls for one of his acting partners to walk behind him, which is a big no-no on the yard or in prison in general. You don't walk behind people because it's a threat, and he immediately reacts, gets off of his rehearsed lines, and starts getting really mad at his acting partner for walking behind him, and it's so authentic and nerve-wracking, and
you don't know where it's gonna go.
And it's like a little nugget that us. I've spent time in jail. It's not, but I'm not.
You have prison rage.
I wasn't in there long enough to learn all the ins and outs, right? So yeah, little things like that. Coleman's
Hey,
great.
do you remember the story? Do you remember the story are you told on this show?
Not of the prison rage.
Yeah,
You
Anderson.
haven't heard that? Brian's told this story like 5
Anderson
times.
had been thrown in jail.
I was in jail. I was in LA County for like 2.5 days.
Yeah, this is Sunday or Monday, and we're coming back to Loveline, and Anderson is recounting us the story of being thrown in jail. And at one point, something goes wrong with the show, or there's some annoyance with the ward, and Anderson just yells, "I have new prison rage."
I think it was directed at you. Yeah, I think I was mad
It might
at
have
you.
been.
Yeah, I was on Loveline, I think, later that night, and I had just gotten released that morning. Craziest thing, too, about LA County is it's one of the roughest, hardest places I've ever been and hope to ever be in my entire fucking
I
life.
have new prison rage.
And I've heard that LA County is not the kind of place people hardened criminals LA County is fucking bad times, right? I didn't see one Asian person the entire time I was in there. No, and I heard that they keep the
They're all
Asian
running the
population
joint.
completely separated. Anyways,
Brian's going to try to find a way to get in now.
Yeah, the accuser.
I was in there 2.5 days. Never slept a wink. A lot of stories came out of those 2.5 days, obviously. But I got released on Spring Street. I'm walking. I'm going to meet a friend. She's going to pick me up, and I almost get jumped. Well, I'm out of jail. I made it out. 2.5 days, LA County, and I almost got jumped. And I'm like, I still have my bracelet. I'm like, dude, I just got rolled. I think I used the term rolled because that's what they say in there. I'm like, just fucking please, and they're just walking right behind me. I can feel their breath on my neck. I'm like, oh my god, I just survived 2.5 days, and now I'm gonna get fucking shivved. Oh,
It makes sense now that you'd have prison rage.
I had a lot of prison rage, jail rage. I've never been to prison. All right, let's go. Speaking of something not prisony,
Emily.
Emily
is a 2022 film. Directed by Frances O'Connor. This is the debut of Miss O'Connor. You might know her as the mom from AI. Starring Emily Mackey as the titular Emily Bronte. Writer of Wuthering Heights. 88% Rotten Tomatoes. This is streaming on Paramount Plus, as well as rental and what was I going to say? Signed by Nick Eats Cake.
Nick Eats Cake, yes. Who and we're doing this outside, so I don't have all of my notes. I want to tell you what else.
I will say, and I'm curious to know if you had spoken to Nicholas, Mr. Eats Cake.
I don't know about Nick, Alyssa.
Because this was a very unusual choice for a listener assignment. Not indicative of the kind of films we get assigned with.
It is when we're talking about Nick Eats Cake. So Nick Eats Cake has had us watch Beanpole, Baby Teeth. Oh, I love that Baby Teeth. Dogs Don't Wear Pants.
There's nothing similar to this.
The Worst Ones. Alice in the Cities, which is very different. And then Emily.
This is, okay, you made my point. Thank you. Emily is very different.
Wow, he's
in
such a
fact, it may.
You just realized that?
Why? Why are you, though? Those are all very esoteric. Some of them very Beanpole, very
I
hard to
don't
get through.
consider that esoteric at all. This is like awards baity. Granted, it didn't get a lot of awards, but it felt like the kind of film that would come out and be like an awards bait film. Like, I could see
10,
them doing
15 years ago. I
could see them doing a campaign for Emma Mackey as Emily Bronte to get a nomination for a Best Actress. Didn't work out, obviously, but it felt weird to watch this movie while it's warm out in the summertime, because I associate this kind of movie with something I would have put off from the winter and been watching around the Oscars in like January, February.
Okay, well, I mean, Nick likes this movie quite a
I'm
bit.
not saying it's bad. I
He
enjoyed
knows
it.
it's the type of movie that wouldn't really get. Did you really?
I did.
Oh, because I talked to Nick today, and I'm like, I think Brian really hated this movie because he sent me a
No.
text verbatim. I have no idea why a listener would assign us.
Oh, I
Emily.
stand by that. Yeah, this.
It's a
the-
quality movie that
it's-
Nick really liked. That we don't. The type of movie we wouldn't normally cover on this here program, and he wanted to hear us talk about it. So
I agree. I would not normally see this had it not been nominated for an Oscar, which it was not. So obviously I skipped it because the Oscars tell me what to see. But this is the kind of movie.
why do you announce that with glee?
Yeah, I'm making your point for you. Yeah. This is the kind of movie that I would catch up with in a January or
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but you're also going a long way to say Nick had us watch a quality movie that we had missed, that we had not talked about.
Yeah,
that's
and
maybe worth talking about.
To my original point, very different than all the movies you described. Like, this is not a listener assignment kind of movie. It felt
Okay, in the
different.
sense that it's like a romance
It's a period piece.
and a period piece and a snooze fucking fest on its surface, and not even just on its surface. Like throughout the movie, quite often I was like, I wish I cared more about most of these characters, and I am a little bit like dozing off here. I didn't
I
love
like
the
the
movie.
characters.
What's that?
I like the characters.
Okay, good. So why don't you take it away? Because I think you liked it more than me, which I did not
It
see coming
sounds
at
like
all.
it. Oh, no, I enjoyed this movie. So it's about Emily Bronte, I believe 19th century author.
It's like 1891, I think.
That was the, yeah,
think
makes
so.
sense. And it is
There's a lot of cholera going around.
basically the story of her life, at least a thin slice of her life, as she embraces her desire to be a writer, which was not very common for women back then. And her family is full of writers, soon to be. Her brother is a aspiring writer. Her sister Charlotte would go on to be a writer, but it's about their early days before they're famous and well-known and publish their big well-known works. Her sister wrote Jane Eyre. I don't know if that means anything.
They didn't mention that in the.
Well, she didn't. She had not
She had
started
not written
writing
it. Yeah,
at the
so
time of
you
the
gotta-
events in the movie.
I would have gone a long way for me, and I think I would have enjoyed it. And I told this to Nick, like if I was more familiar with Wuthering Heights, and I'm not. I'm not familiar at all with what. I get it confused with Towering Inferno. That's how dumb I am. And
They're not the
I
same
really
thing
do.
at all.
I know, but they're like
That is very good.
And they both got the Towering and the Heights
Yep,
in there, right?
Wuthering
So
and,
that's all my brain
Towering
needs.
Heights.
That connection, and now they're the same fucking movie. So I if I had read the books, read the things, or in school, or seen the movie, I think that I would have gotten more appreciation because you're kind of getting a thumbnail sketch, and at times like a deep look into what her life may have been. Now, a
Sure.
lot of this is conjecture because they don't know. There's not a lot written about her. She's a bit of a mysterious character. She was a bit of a shut-in. She didn't talk. She was, I think, the middle daughter of 3 girls, which is very similar to Jillian, which I did pick up on,
interesting.
and I like that. Once again, much like Sing Sing, the biggest takeaway for me was her and her performance, and
That's great.
she was really, really good. The little nuances and things she was doing with her face when she had to do some heavy lifting with making scenes work with, because she's surrounded by very stuffy people, with the exception
Yeah.
of her brother.
Her father's kind of overbearing.
They're all church goers, and like everything's about faith and your fate.
Very
And,
puritanical society.
yeah, and the thought of like lust is like like
It's
a lot of
a
that,
sin.
and there is some romance in here, which apparently was revisionist history because I don't think she ever did consummate her love. Hearing it from Nick knows more about this character, and
Yeah, I don't know that much.
gorgeous film. Nick was very concerned. That's why I asked you if you were going to watch it on Hoopla, because they have standard definition on Hoopla, but the high def is available
okay.
on Canopy and
Yeah, I
other
think I got the
streaming
good
service.
one. Yeah.
Very pretty movie. The backdrop was pretty.
Yeah,
She was
I'm actually
beautiful.
surprised in retrospect that it didn't get more Oscar attention.
It's all bullshit campaigns from the studios. Oh, I didn't even tell you about Sing Sing. We're going to go back to Sing Sing in a minute, about its rollout, its shitty rollout, and how this movie's kind of getting buried.
Yeah,
I want to tell you more about Sing Sing
I'm
after.
worried about it being like a BlackBerry situation where people are like, "What is that? I don't know what you're talking about."
Blackberry?
BlackBerry.
Oh, Blackberry? Yeah, but I mean, I think
They're
Blackberry.
not similar movies at all.
No,
but
and
just
I
in the
think
sense
Blackberry
that,
didn't have like a star in it. That was the problem, right? Baruchel's like the closest thing, and
no,
like,
Glenn
Howerton.
Howard.
Glenn Howerton's still.
I think Glenn
like,
Howerton
from
is
TV.
as famous as Coleman Domingo.
Yeah. I'd argue he's more famous.
I think
I don't know,
so.
Coleman Domingo hasn't he been up for like Academy Award already? Or?
Yeah, but there's
Yeah.
plenty of those people that people in like the zeitgeist and wouldn't know. More people on the street would recognize Glenn Howerton.
Yeah, but I think Coleman
Domingo.
Domingo, not to get political here, is much more Oscar friendly,
I
especially in
agree.
today's
Sure.
landscape.
Oh, I totally agree.
Sure.
So, all right. Anyways, so please don't let me forget about Sing Sing, because I do think that there's something nefarious going on there. All right,
Oh,
I
all
do. I really do. So yeah, Emily, I'm watching this. I don't know her. I've never seen her in anything before. Brian, had you seen her in before?
No, I didn't recognize her.
She looks strikingly similar to.
She's in Barbie.
Margot Robbie.
She is
You
one
just
of the. She is
stepped
one
all
of the
over
many
my-
Barbies.
So I'm like, oh my God, is she like related to Margot Robbie? She reminds me so much of Margot Robbie. She's so Margot Robbie-esque. And I look up, I'm like, where have I seen her before? The only thing that I've seen her in is Barbie, and she played one of the Barbies. Now, apparently, Nick was telling me that I guess people were telling Greta Gerwig and Margot, like, this actress looks so much like Margot, you should do something with her and like have her on the movie. They cast her. They had her come on set, but I guess she got there to Margot Robbie's like, that woman looks nothing like me. We're not going to do that bit. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what Nick had heard, and that's kind of funny. But yeah, she is her. At times, she looks like almost like a dead ringer for Margot Robbie. At other times, it's like nothing Margot Robbie about her at all.
Yeah, I thought she had a passing resemblance, which is neither here nor there.
So it's it's times to call her a period piece. A lot of like the costumes and whatnot, beautiful backdrops. She's a great writer. It comes naturally to her. But she's a woman, and
I will say a little bit of it is borderline cliched, a little tropey, like everything you said, plus the sort of very puritanical role of the church, forbidden love, the women can't, their dreams of being a writer are distant at best.
Yes.
These are all very well trodden tropes.
Yeah, and it comes down to the performances, and I liked her brother, and
The brother's great.
the mask scene.
I'd like to move you at him.
The mask scene kind of came out of nowhere. Like I took a note on that.
Oh,
Like
sure.
what's happening here? That some of that direction was a little bit strange with the black going to black and then like picking up, and apparently those also were direct nods to Wuthering Heights, which I wasn't getting. I think there were a lot of Wuthering Heights, not
Much
even Easter
like-
eggs, but just nods.
No, I don't know that book at all. Much like Romeo and Juliet and Shakespeare in Love, if you know one, you're going to enjoy the other a little more.
Yeah.
Right? There's so many Easter eggs in Shakespeare in Love that if you know the text really well, you're going to get more out of it.
Yeah, but I think most people, us included, are going to know more about
I agree.
Shakespeare
I agree.
references than Wuthering, Tyrant,
I agree. I
Inferno,
agree.
and-
I agree, but I'm making the comparison.
yeah. Gotcha. All right.
She was in Barbie.
I heard. Yes,
Well
thank
played.
you. Thank you. It was such a revelation. I'm like, well, she's so Margot Robbie. Who is she? And then it's like, she's in Barbie. She's playing Barbie. I'm like, what the fuck? My brain for a second is like, what, is she Margot Robbie?
And if
For
you
a
go to
second.
sleep, Margot Robbie's in Towering Inferno?
All right, so here's something kind of interesting going on with Sing Sing. And, so if you've seen Far From the Madding Crowd, either the remake or the original, similar tone and vibe. I like Far From the Madding Crowd more than this one.
Well, Emily.
I'm talking about Emily, yeah. And then some of the score was a little bit off for me as well. But goddamn, she was good. Like, whoa.
Put it on the poster.
Score was a little off, but
Goddamn,
goddamn,
she
she
was
was good.
So, Sing Sing, the cast and everyone who worked on it, they're doing a rev share, what do they call it? It's a profit sharing model. where-
Like not crowdfunding, but investing.
and anyone who works on the movie owns a piece of the movie and is getting a chunk of the movie. And I don't know if that's box office only. I don't know how this is being laid out, what it says in the contracts, but every person you see in that movie, everyone who worked on that movie
That's interesting.
is getting
I
a
had not
piece
heard
of that
that.
movie. And I have not seen a movie that deserves an audience, that deserves an Oscar baity audience, and hopefully we'll get there. But I've not seen a movie that obviously could take off and be word of mouth and be at the talk of the town to an extent.
Well, like, kind of like Coda was.
Kind of like Coda was, but Coda kind of came out of left field a little bit too, and it took off on its own. Sing Sing's not doing that, but it just needs a little push, I think. I saw one trailer for it. It doesn't seem like it's the right time to be releasing it. It shouldn't be going up against Deadpool.
It's not doing it any favors.
No, this is a movie that you release in mid-October or
exactly.
November. So I don't know if this is the studio saying, "Oh, you want to do that model, do you?" Well, and where the top brass doesn't get paid the the lion's share. Okay, yeah, you can get your little release, and here and we'll be in charge of that. It seems to me like there's some fucked up,
some chicanery.
Yes, some fucoonery going on, and I don't like it.
I hadn't heard that.
I don't like it.
Interesting.
Because I'm watching this movie, and I'm hearing about it. I've been waiting for the wide release. That's why I haven't seen it yet. And I'm watching it. I'm like, what is going on? And then the movie ends. I'm like, well, how is this movie not? It's not life changing, but it's very good. And it's like Oscar. Some years this movie could be up for Best Picture.
Yeah.
Hopefully not this year. That means that it's kind of a week.
Yeah.
Year
Oh,
for
I
movies.
disagree. This would
But
be a
it
worthy
could be up.
nominee.
It still might be up. I don't know. But I'm like, what's going on? And then I was reading about it, and I came across this little fact that it's profit sharing. I'm like, are they just trying to fuck over?
I had not heard that. It's
So,
interesting.
Interesting. Keep your eye on that.
Coming up next, we will go over the top 5 movies based on non-traditional IPs. Next. Yep, we back. All right, time to talk about some movies based on non-traditional IPs. I have a solid list. In fact, I even thought of one late, found one late. I must admit I didn't think of this because I didn't realize it was the non-traditional IP, and added it to the list and took off a solid one. So I got 5 solid movies. 5 solid movies.
This will be fun. I learned a thing or two about a thing or two this week.
Yeah,
and,
this was a fun fact-filled week.
yeah. I hate to say it, but good job, Bri.
Hey,
Way to go.
I was inspired by Borderlands.
Something good came out of Borderlands.
That's right.
This is when I wish I still watch South Park. I'm way off South Park, but when things like this happen, it's like, oh, well, maybe South Park will bring something good out of this.
I was
train wreck.
about to say, do you think this is the best thing to come out of Borderlands? But I was like, nah, Kate Blanchett's kid is going to get braces or go to private school or something.
That's a good point, yeah. Why would she? Did she have faith in it?
It must have been a massive paycheck.
Yeah, they must pay her a lot
She's
of
never
money.
done that before. She's been offered giant. Has she done that before?
I have
It
no
wasn't a
idea.
bad
It
role.
was
She
weird.
did Ragnarok. She was the villain in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
hella.
I was going to say, have we seen her in a movie like this? But you're right. Yeah. All right, let's get to it.
That's the only
Hella.
other time, though.
Let's get to it. You ready?
Yeah, buddy.
You want to start or should I start?
I'll start off with the one that I learned late in the game was actually based on a non-traditional IP. I assumed that it was a comic book or TV show or something. No, it turns out, did you know, Anderson, that the little mentioned on the show Mars Attacks was based on a, hold on, I have it here, a 1962 trading card series put up by Topps Trading Cards.
Yeah. I'm glad you have this on the list because I was going to go into this anyways. It's on my also ran, so this is a good one.
Good.
Because as we know, like Topps doesn't just do sports, right? They do like offshoots sometimes.
Sure.
I had no idea that there was like this collection of cards. I'm sure you have the research there.
Yeah. I'm going to do a lot of reading this episode because I copied down a lot of fun facts. But it turns out, where did I start here? Director Alex Cox, first pitch, he the director of Repo Man, first pitched
Sid
the
and
idea of a Mars Attacks film in 1985. Writer Jonathan Gems, I'm not sure. He pitched the idea to his collaborator Tim Burton, and the two settled on an Irwin Allen. Oh, there it is, Towering Inferno. Irwin Allen, an Irwin Allen style ensemble disaster story. Initial drafts were actually more satirical than the final product, which is pretty satirical. And third act was actually rewritten, believe it or not, to be more like Independence Day.
The cards were actually censored for being too gruesome, but the movie was
Kind of tongue in cheek.
yeah. But the movie they
Movie's
actually
campy.
it was campy. I think Atticus is close enough. Getting
Very
pretty close
Gill
to be able to
loved
watch
it.
As a child, this movie was troubling.
Really?
You're a puss.
I wasn't scared of it, but I was confused what to make of
Yeah,
an attractive lady sewed to a dog's body. And
Remember
vice
Anderson
versa.
Gill, a 9-year-old Gill.
Yeah, he
loved
was
it.
9. Addie's not 8 yet.
It
So.
was strange. I may have
It's
seen this like when it
unusual.
came out. I might have been like 6 or 7 when I saw this.
Number 5 for me, Bri,
Yep.
if I may, is a tie. Are you gonna be all right with that?
No.
Hopefully, I don't step on you here.
If you do,
I doubt I will.
not forgive you.
I don't love either one of these movies. That said, they're both connected, And it's interesting because they're both based on classified ads.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, number
I
5,
didn't see this coming.
A is Safety Not Guaranteed, the Mark Duplass movie.
Oh, is
I don't
that
know if you
based
saw
on
it.
a real thing?
So
oh,
that's-
yeah. The guy advertised, like, Who Wants to Time Travel or something.
Yeah. Backwoods Home Magazine,
Yeah.
senior editor. He wrote a fake classified ad that was seeking someone, an accomplice for a time traveling journey,
That's right.
and that went
Wow,
viral.
great call, buddy.
As was my
Seeking a
number.
Friend?
That was 2012. A couple years later, Kevin Smith picked up the reins and did the same thing with Tusk. Tusk, as you might remember, was a viral ad
Wow.
on a Canadian version of Craigslist that they were seeking a lodger in exchange.
I have
for,
neither of these.
He
so
could
go ahead.
he could be free. He could stay for free in exchange for wearing a realistic walrus costume for 2 hours a day and acting as a walrus companion. The ad was written as a joke by a man named Chris Parkinson, and Mr. Kevin Smith flew Mr. Parkinson to the set to show his appreciation. And Parkinson got there and said,
Nice.
"Dude, I'm not a Kevin Smith fan. I don't even like movies. Why am I out here? What are you doing?
What
for
is
me?
this?
What is this? Where's my money for you taking my idea and turning it into a movie?" But no, Tusk was based on a bullshit. Both of them based on bullshit. I just picture like some poor saps out there who want to write, and they're like, "Oh, maybe that's all I got to do." And they're just every day they're looking through the classified for their next story, and they haven't found anything yet. That's sad. That's sad.
What was the one Justin Long was in recently that we liked? The Basement.
Barbarian?
Before Barbarian, this is the most I like Justin Long. Oh, no, there was also Idiocracy.
Idiocracy is his crown and achieve. Crown and achieve.
not on my list. All right, great. Should I move on?
Yeah.
All right, number 4 for me. I must apologize that if this is on your list somewhere, I hope to not step on your toes because I know you enjoy.
There'll be crossover.
I knew enjoy Zola.
Mm.
Zola. No,
Coleman.
What?
Coleman. I think it's the first time I actually saw Coleman.
Domingo.
Yeah.
Star of Sing Sing. Called Zola is a 2021 film directed by Gianzica Bravo.
We should mention Coleman Domingo did not do any time in Sing Sing. He was an actor in the movie.
In October of 2015, Detroit waitress Azia King, known as Zola, posted a 148 tweet thread about a trip she took to Florida with a stripper named Jessica. The story, containing details of prostitution, murder, and attempted suicide, quickly went viral. About a month later, a writer from Rolling Stone published an article interviewing people about the story who were involved in the story. And while the article noted several discrepancies, and King has admitted to embellishing some of the sensational details, most of the details or most of the people involved have admitted to the general events. In 2016, it was announced that James Franco would direct the film, but James Franco, I guess, had some conflicts or something, couldn't do it. So in 2018, it was announced that Gianzica Bravo would direct.
It was great. I love this movie.
Very enjoyable.
We will bring it up later. At first, I was adamantly opposed. The same woman that directed Lemon. Remember Lemon?
Oh, Lemon!
Yeah.
Oh, that was a listener assignment, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was Chad Ice.
There you
If
go.
memory serves, I'm pretty sure it's the same director.
And the concept there is a person is a lemon, right? This
Yes.
woman is a lemon.
No, the woman. It was
they're
a man.
two
was a lemon.
friends.
Oh, the man's a lemon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's his loser friend.
Oh, Lemon. I forgot about Lemon. I need to look up Lemon immediately.
Lemon wasn't
Lemon.
bad.
Wait, let me. I don't like not having my rig in front of me. I feel blind over here. I feel like I'm from the 1980s or
You're
something.
flying blind.
I don't like it. Like
Well,
it's
we
the
got-
same director. What's the name of the director
Well,
for
we have
Zola?
Gianzica Bravo.
Yeah, that's her. That's
If
the
we
same
have
one.
more to say about later on about Zola, let's put
No,
it.
not much. It's not on my list. I don't like that movie. Moving on.
Oh, okay. I feel
No,
bad.
when I first heard about this movie, the rage. I think I probably heard about it sitting right here with you, doing the film vault. When
It's
maybe
like a
that
red
was
light, green light.
it was perhaps
Or Sundance preview?
maybe Sundance preview.
It's like an entire movie, and it's get this, get this with the kids today, technology. It's entirely based
That's the
on.
voice. That's the voice.
Ba-
That's the voice.
now you're gonna It's based on a series of tweets. And I
That's
was
Jack
like,
Black.
fuck the world, fuck entertainment,
All right.
fuck my life.
Please stop. My neighbors.
I can't watch movies anymore if we're going to be making movies about tweets.
For my backyard.
And here we are, all these years later, and I'm like, oh man, how is Zola so low on your list, Brian? What's your problem?
Well, Zola's really good. I got 3 heavyweights coming up next.
Oh, do you?
I do.
Do you?
Better
Is
movies.
Transformers going to be on there? Because that's
No.
based on a fucking toy, right?
Maybe.
Number 4 for me.
Battleship.
Dumbo. This is news to me as well. I was
Dumbo
not
was
aware of the
not a book?
lineage, the origin of Dumbo. By mistake, I read too much about Jumbo, who was also based on, who died tragically by train.
Was Jimbo an actual elephant?
Yeah, Jumbo was a large elephant, and Jumbo
I think they're
had
mostly large.
severe abuse and somehow died on
You
a
can
fucking
just say
train
elephant.
track by train contact. Fucking people, man. Goddamn people.
They're called cow catchers, but they work just well for elephants too.
But that's not Dumbo. Primarily was based on, or more so than Jumbo the clown. There's some conflicting information there, but here we go. Dumbo is based on something called, never heard of this either, a roll-a-book. Roll-a-book. Roll-a-book.
It's like a choose your own adventure type style.
Roll-a-book was a distinctive format. It featured about a dozen illustrations, which appeared on a short scroll that was built into a box,
Oh my God,
and
you-
the reader
Ah.
would twist
You
a small
roll
wheel at the
the-
top of the box to get the next panel illustration. Somebody over at Disney saw this. It was on the back of a cereal box, like a limited edition cereal box, and they would have this on the box or like inside the box, and kids would see Dumbo. It was very, very small, very obscure. Somebody saw that over at Disney, brought it to Walt himself, and Walt's like, buying the rights immediately. We're making a fucking movie about this flying goddamn elephant. Dumbo, 1941.
Didn't realize. Well done, my friend. See, there's another problem with researching movies or a list like this is everyone copies everyone's list. You're like, oh, show me movies based on video games or based on whatever, and it's all the same.
There's so much. I guess we're kind of. I like to think that we, between the three of us at times, like we do the research. Like we spend time.
Every
And if we're
literally
not,
does no research.
if we're
That's
not
true.
finding what we're looking for, we continue to go. But there's a lot of people like bloggers, and that's the world we live in, where they gotta like have content every fucking day. And I think that there's a lot
Churn
of
it
biting
out.
that goes on, and there's a lot
Churn
of
and
people. that just-
burn.
A lot of people, because I mean, a lot of lists when we're doing our research, we read a lot of these lists all in the same week. We'll be reading everybody's list on the same topic, and I see a lot of like just copy and paste jobs, and I see a lot of like I brought this up a couple weeks ago. I've never seen, but, and then they have that on their fucking list, which I was guilty of at the live show, but that was okay
Yeah, for entertainment value.
for entertainment
But
value.
you still have the critical part of
Yeah.
the live show clips.
The critical.
What a
part?
bold move would be. Avery.
the actual
Yeah, if
clip.
Anderson's like, I never seen this clip, but let's roll it.
So it's informed. It's at least an informed
Yeah, I mean,
opinion.
it was. Yeah, it's a crazy action sequence. Oh, by the way, if you have not seen the live show and you're at the $10 or above level, YouTube is still giving me the business. It's still on my. It's the whole thing is available, and I gave you a Google link to it, so that's up there right now. You can download it, you can own it, you can do whatever you want with it. If you're at the $10 or above level, it's on the Patreon feed. And then I'm still gonna try and like outsmart YouTube or just.
Good luck.
Yeah.
It's been done many times.
But if you have you watched? I haven't actually sat down and watched the full 25-minute pre-show that Drake put together.
No.
I haven't even seen like the Nicole Kidman spoof
That's
that's
quite
in there.
good.
You
I
didn't
haven't
see
even-
it?
I was walking in the theater when it
Oh.
was playing.
It's
and-
pretty upsetting.
I think he posted that in its entirety on
that's pretty
Instagram.
disturbing.
Yeah, it's upsetting because it's you doing it, right?
Yeah, but I'm seamlessly Nicole Kidman.
Creeps.
Very much so.
Yeah. All right. Moving along. What's your number 3?
Number 3 for me. Obvious choice, but it's really, really good. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Hey, it's my number 3.
Hey.
Nice, look at that.
The Curse of the Black Pearl.
All of them. I mean, they're all just.
No, the only one deserves to be on the list.
It is there. You can see Brian as Nicole Kidman.
I have not seen this. This is awesome.
Go to @Anderson Ryan
It's
on
very enjoyable.
Instagram.
We'll watch after the show. It's quite enjoyable.
Directed by Gore Verbinski. Anderson, then Disney CEO Michael Eisner, who you must know is actually a doofus. He wanted.
No.
He really is. He wanted to shut down production after Disney released The Country Bears because in his mind, we tried this with a ride and it flopped, so we're gonna scrap production. Thank God, cooler has prevailed.
Well,
and
I mean, fairness to him, I was once again I'm like, they're doing what? Because of the ride?
yeah, but
No,
If
no,
you're-
I'm not living in a world
if
where
you're-
movies are based on tweets and rides.
admittedly, it did have an uphill battle to quality. That said, look at the talent involved, like Gore Verbinski, look at Johnny Depp. You realize that, there's going to be something here. That's if you're a studio executive. That said, where did I leave? Executives were debating a theatrical release versus straight-to-video. For a theatrical release,
Wait, is this after it was produced?
no, as while it's being produced.
Yeah. See, okay, like I'm
just
not
gonna-
gonna stick up for this horrible prick of a CEO of a corporate. What's wrong with the world? Like Eisner and everyone like him is what's wrong with the fucking world. I'm not sticking up for him. But that said, like if this was after the movie was produced and he's saying this, yeah, dude, send him off to sea, right, in a raft. And
Would you like to know a true story about Michael Eisner?
does it involve you?
It does.
I'll bite.
You'll like this because it doesn't really involve me. So Michael Eisner was the keynote speaker at USC's commencement ceremony.
Of course he was.
My senior year.
Did you question your own existence and path in life when you're like, this is my keynote? He was your keynote
Yeah,
speaker.
that's right.
Right?
I did not. However, this is 2000. This is May of 2000. And so Michael Eisner, his entire speech, what do you think it was about?
What do I think? What?
What do you think it was about? What was the theme of his speech?
Mickey Mouse and Disney.
Michael Eisner.
Eisner's entire speech was about how unreliable email is because he was drafting his commencement speech and deleted it by accident. And so the entire speech ended up being how bad email is and how unreliable
Any
it is.
messages in there for you, USC?
I recall nothing except him bitching about how he lost his speech. This guy's a fucking
did he get paid?
idiot.
Did he get paid?
I'm sure.
Handsomely? Yeah. They should have
For
lost the
USC's
check.
commencement, yeah, I'm sure he got paid a lot.
They should have lost the check.
That was very upsetting. Anyway.
You wanted some words of encouragement before you go out there in the real world. Michael Eisner is supposed to give me a pat on the head and tell
Yeah,
me
that's
to
why I ended up with you.
I heard there's a special bald boy out there.
For a theatrical
Hey,
release,
this is some fun research.
executives wanted a
Worst Hollywood fucks who have ever given commencement speeches, and like maybe some excerpts from.
Not
like, you know,
bad.
Weinstein gave some commencement speeches somewhere. You know, Cosby has.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Cosby honorary degrees, man. Like a dozen of them.
That would be.
Well, that's
fun.
why that's sort of in line with my idea was top 5 uncomfortable interviews. I feel like that could be good.
Wait, from movies or like
Oh,
actual
No, when
junkets?
they're on the circuit,
You know how much
junkets.
reading that is? You know how much reading I
No,
would
it's
have
clips.
to do?
It's clips. It's clips. It'd be clip heavy.
Oh, I've not heard this idea, and I'm turning a corner. I'm kind of liking this idea.
Like, isn't there some celebrity who only wants, like Kevin Bacon or something, only wants to talk about his band, or is that?
No, that's Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh yeah. See, there's
yeah, I think he
plenty of
walked
room.
off Loveline
Russell
before my
Crowe.
time.
See, plenty of room.
Keanu Reeves is kind of the same way when he does
Top 5 uncomfortable interviews.
Dogstar.
Uncomfortable interviews.
Dogstar. It just makes me think of a dog's butthole every time I hear Dogstar.
After Eisner complained to Gore Verbinski that the budget was getting too high, Verbinski fucking came to his senses and astutely pointed out that, quote, your competition is spending $150 million a movie, referring to, at the time, Matrix movies, Lord of the Rings movies, and Eisner had to concede the point. However, he did not concede the point because he insisted that the subtitle of the movie be The Curse of the Black Pearl. And Verbinski, as the director, pointed out, the curse in the movie has nothing to do with the ship, the Black Pearl. Eisner's like, I don't care. It's got to be that. And they insisted
Just to
on doing
throw his weight around, you think?
it. It just says he wouldn't relent.
Or is it because he wanted a little separation from the ride?
Perhaps, but why not do another subtitle? I don't know why he loved that one so much.
When I just call
It does sound good.
in my
It
notes.
sounds good,
Does
but
have a
it
good ring
means
to it.
nothing.
Yeah,
just
but
call
that's Hollywood.
That's true.
You don't need a subtitle.
Transformers:
For
Dark of the Moon.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
the first movie, you don't need a subtitle. It's dumb.
Agreed. Do you have anything else to add to this?
No, I think that's my number 3 as well. So we take a quick little break
Break.
here, and we talk a little Amazon purchases, and then we come back. We get our balls bit off some more by the mosquitoes, and continue the show.
Get yourself some mosquito spray after this. Anderson turned the corner from not drinking to drinking pretty quick.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Feels good.
Good
Feels
for
right.
you. Hey, everyone. Thanks for continuing to support the show, getting all your back-to-school supplies for your kids, for yourself, for whoever. We appreciate you. So thinking of the show, tapping that banner and tapping that link over on AndersonandBryan.com. You continue to support the show, and we appreciate you. Here are the things purchased on Amazon this week via our link. The big purchase was a $1,200 Asus TUF Ryzen 7 premium gaming laptop. Thank you for getting that through us. It means a lot. Appreciate it. Someone got a Google Pixel Watch 2, an Audio-Technica Bluetooth turntable. Someone got a DeWalt 24,000 RPM router. Two Vatic Pro Prism Pickleball. Jesus Christ. Pro Prism Pickleball paddle. 2 of them. Someone got an ambient weather smart weather station. Sorry guys, I'll get better at this. EF EcoFlow portable power station was purchased. A lot of P's. As well as a B-Link Pro mini PC. A Cuisinart air fryer was picked up. Someone got themselves a Philips Hue Ludaire outdoor security light. Scepter 24-inch gaming monitor was purchased. Someone got themselves an Eaton Bussmann. Is the Bussmann? It is Bussmann. Eaton Bussmann cartridge fuse. A Kia 100-inch projector screen. Someone's going to enjoy some outdoor movies, perhaps. Reolink outdoor security camera. Smart. Can't be too safe. Simple Way pet grooming vacuum was purchased, and someone got themselves a TimberTech airbrushed kit. Kidde, K-I-D-D-E. Kidde, smoke and carbon monoxide detector. Smart. Water-powered air cleaner with camera. I don't know what you have to see in there, but they got it. Isopure protein powder, 12-pack. Lenny and Larry's cookie-filled big bars. Sounds pretty good.
Why is that funny?
Big bars. Bars that are big. Sperm check. Post a vasectomy home test kit. Gotta see if there's any swimmer sneaking in there. Aguirre's, I'll say Aguirre's. Aguirre's flashing hazard lights for the vehicle. Swiss gear. Laptop. Backpack. And someone got themselves finally Boca. Big and tall. Plush. Bathrobe. I giggled through the post.
That may have been my my finest work yet.
It really is.
It was pretty good.
See, every day, every post.
It was pretty
every
good.
post, he does every day.
It'd be helpful if we could hear you at all.
Here are the movie clickers. The last time I talked at y'all, I was on the mic. Avery wasn't on the pod.
How dare you?
Potentiometer. 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 people got Furiosa, a Mad Max talking. There's a chance.
Save.
There's a chance that it's a listener who's just not very bright and they think they need to have one for each TV. Like it lives inside the TV and they have one in their living room, one in their bedroom, one in their spare. I doubt it. It's probably 3 separate people, but it might just be one.
It could be one dedicated fan.
Like my mom still thinks that when her voicemail is malfunctioning, like there's some kind of like wheel inside her phone that is stuck. And I'm like, Mom, that's not how it works. It's not what's going on. It's not. It's different. The Hunger Games, let's click through. The Ballad of
Buster
Songbirds.
Scruggs.
I know, I was thinking the same thing. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Either 3 people got women or 3 women was clicked through. I'm having a hard time. Detroit Rock City was clicked through. Deja Vu. Running on Empty, the 1988 Running on Empty, in case you're confused.
Running on empty.
Spun was clicked through. Spun. I don't think that was a very realistic depiction of the old meth over there, but people are going to make movies. My Neighbor Totoro. Mad Max Fury Road. Fuck the yes. Smart move. And Punch Drunk Love was clicked through. Fuck the yes. Avery, quick question.
Yes,
Have you seen Punch Drunk Love?
I have. It's fucking great.
Okay, good.
It's fucking
I was gonna
great.
say you can
Good,
borrow
good,
my
good.
DVD. If
Thank you
want.
very much for
You're about to have
clicking.
a Punch Drunk Love
I was
size
about to
meltdown.
scream and yell Dwight Yoakam style from Sling Blade to get out of my house.
Even though we're in my backyard.
I know, but it was not Dwight's house that he was telling people to get out of.
It's not
which-
Doyle. It's not your house, Doyle.
Doyle. Get out of my house. It's not your house. God, I love movies. I really, really do love movies. All right, hey, back to the program.
Yeah, we're back. Time to conclude the list with 2 bangers. What do you got, number? Oh, am I going first?
Yeah, I mean, that's if we were to keep this up. I think we're going to probably land in similar places.
Possibly. Well, you have Zola still.
Well, all right, my number 2 is Zola. There you go. You
Oh.
you said it all. You said too much. Zola is my number 2. Love that movie.
That means
Absolutely
you
love
left
that movie.
off one of my top 2.
I could have made a real argument for Zola being my number 1, but
What was your number 3?
Want to be honest. Number 3 was Pirates of the
Oh,
Caribbean.
you also had the Caribbean.
Now, is there a way to discern what kind of a person is by the way they pronounce Caribbean or Caribbean?
Oh, that's funny. My old boss Corolla used to delight in stories of my mean grandma. I had a mean grandma, and she would constantly correct me on everything, including the pronunciation of Caribbean. I said, "Oh, we're going to Disneyland. I can't wait to ride Pirates of the Caribbean." It's Caribbean.
Do you?
I was 10.
Are you hearing this?
What?
I'm hearing this for the first time, but so many things are clicking into
Oh, yeah.
focus, snapping into focus.
This is like a psycho situation.
Genetics are powerful.
You're seeing where
Are
it
you
came
just-
from.
Is her body somewhere inside your house in a rocking chair?
I like to think she's proud of me every day.
Did you want her approval very badly?
Oh, I earned it.
Did you look at her and say, "That's how I want to be"? Like, I want to be at her. Was she of high stature? Was she respected in the community? Was she wealthy?
Far from it.
Why would you spend most of your life and your identity trying to emulate this woman?
It's my model for adulthood.
Why would that have been that? Why? This is where it all comes from. This is the germ. I never understood.
what?
I met your dad. I met your mom. I met your brother. It made no sense until this very moment. Now I get it. You modeled yourself after this
You
woman.
know what?
But
you
why?
You could argue that my grandma was the most impactful, influential person in my life because she not only loved movies, she had a huge collection of movies.
Yeah, but her taste was probably shite.
Oh, look, a little mouse.
Her taste was shite. Leave the mouse alone.
Look, a little mouse. Oh, there it
Now he's
goes.
gonna get an exterminator, and then they're gonna kill the mouse. Just leave. Don't say anything about it. He didn't see any of that. There was no mouse.
I'm gonna go stomp on it.
What? No,
Anyway,
you can't. All right, so
my dear grandma.
Anyways, so she decided that
She would correct me and say, "It's Caribbean."
Caribbean. All right.
I did it all the time. If I was talking about college
Yeah,
football.
you do it all the time.
No, if I was talking about college football and I mentioned Notre Dame, it's Notre Dame.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, she was insufferable.
Stomp her. How about that?
She was insufferable.
Was she the one who gave you the foyer little lecture and put that in your head?
No, but I think that's where it came from.
'Cause
The
if-
instinct.
If you say, why don't you tell that real quick and then we'll move on?
What did I say?
About the foyer and the foyer.
It's not called a foyer, you fucking rube.
There it is. There it is.
But I'm right. When you give tours, do you talk about the foyer or the foyer?
I don't talk about either because I'm not a douche.
Anderson.
I say the entrance.
That's what you call it.
Yeah.
You call it the entrance.
We don't have a whole lot of foyers out here in the old West Side or the San Fernando Valley or Santa Clarita Valley.
You're
or-
not showing the right kind of houses.
I'm showing the right kind of houses for my clients who have the
No,
right
that
kind
makes
of
a lot of
budget.
sense.
Have you implemented any of the suggestions Brian and I gave you?
Oh, for the bus ads?
They were pretty good ideas.
I can't even remember, but yeah, I get a
Make
lot of
ages
texts.
great again.
There are so many goddamn Film Vault texts throughout the week. it's
Very few having to do with movies.
Yeah, there's very little movie talk in those texts. Lots and lots of texts. A lot of it's about the after disaster more than anything else.
Oh, yeah. Where is the after disaster? Why are they ready for my drive to San Diego?
Why is the after disaster?
Why is the after disaster? All right, let's go. What's your number 1?
What's your number two? What's your
I haven't
two?
got a 2 yet. You jumped me.
I said my number
You
2 is
jumped me.
Zola.
You jumped me.
Zola.
Number 2 for me, maybe it's not on your list, but it should be. Talking about Barbie. 2023 is Barbie.
It's on my also rent.
Wow, that's really insulting. The prospect of a Barbie movie had been in various forms of development since the 1980s when Canon Films optioned the IP from Mattel. Can you imagine a Canon Films version of Barbie?
If who did?
Canon Films, they're famous
Canon.
for cheap.
Yeah, and they probably would have used actual Barbies.
They might have.
I came up with a euphemism for Ken the other day, and I was so proud. I was actually at Born to Act Players, and I was doing an improv with my group, and it came to me, and I'm like, I can't wait to tell Avery, and it's gone.
Oh,
that's a
Damn
bummer.
it. It was a good one, too.
I'll buy some time. At various points, Anne Hathaway and Amy Schumer were attached to the, wait for it, titular role. Patty Jenkins, as director, was one point attached. Margot Robbie entered the picture in 2019 just as her profile was descending. I, Tonya came out the year before, and she was kind of a hot property. She pitched Mattel on the idea of the famous Polo Lounge in Beverly Hills, and the rest is history.
Nice. Hey, there's no subway that goes underneath your house, right?
There's not.
That's the one dimension missing because there's a lot of action
Yeah.
all around your house.
There's
You
a
don't
lot
realize
of,
it until you're outside, but there's a freeway right there. There's a pretty big a boulevard right here.
Oh,
The
yeah.
airspace is giving both of those a run for its money. I mean, there's just constant like fucking biplanes and Cessnas.
We are-
and
There's a
We don't-
motorcycle
jetliners.
rally.
You know what I realized? We are kind of triangulated between the intersections of the 10, the 405, National and Westwood, and then National and Spalva.
And LAX and Santa Monica Airport.
Yes, there's a lot of air traffic.
A lot of air traffic. Like, it's like Fifth Element level air traffic. It's constant. I love it out here, but Jesus, is it picking up? I'm not wearing earphones on this episode.
I hear nothing.
You hear nothing?
But I'm not listening.
Number 1 for me. I got to imagine it's the same for you. On 3,
1,
2, Battleship.
Transformers, the movie. Sorry.
Battleship.
Of course, we're talking about Lego Movie.
Lego movie.
From
The
2014.
Lego movie.
Magnificent. Would you like to hear some fun facts?
Yes.
Original screenwriters Dan and Kevin Hagerman traveled to Lego's headquarters in Denmark to pitch the idea for a movie. Executives were initially kind of resistant. They weren't rude, but apparently they thought a film about Lego or based on Lego was a unnecessary risk for a brand that was already established. Like, why would we do that? We sell tons of Legos. Why
Yeah,
do we do
especially
that?
like leaving it up to Hollywood, and God knows what direction they were going to go in.
Plus,
And
2014, there was not a great history of movies based on games, board games, whatever.
Right.
But based on the pitch they heard, they were like, "There's a great idea. Let's go for it."
And it's just the underlying message of Lego movie, the Lego movie.
It's so great.
It's great.
It's so magnificent.
And I once again, I was 100% wrong. I'm like, really?
Yes,
They're doing
yes. I was the
Really?
same. We're like, fuck this movie.
And I'm probably gonna have to cover it for the goddamn show, and I don't want to.
I'm
'cause
sure it'll
it's-
be clever and have a lot of pop culture references.
And you know what? It shone a light. Is that right?
Shown,
Ask your grandma.
shown.
Summon her. Do you summon her?
She's
when you're
always
really-
she's always in me.
He does a seance.
It shone a light on Lego, like the company. I didn't know. I knew very little about Lego other than I
Same.
played with them when I was a child. I didn't know that it was like a Swedish company.
This is pre-kids.
that
for
they
us.
had like this whole philosophy and
Danish,
it,
I
was,
think.
it all makes sense. It makes perfect sense when you actually take a step back, you watch the movie, get the message, and you see like what they're going after and what their whole entire mission statement is. That makes a whole lot of sense. But it didn't occur to me until watching the movie. So it's like multi-layers, and it's Simpsons level
Yes.
of goodness.
Brilliance. I agree. I go on and on about the third act, the final leap that the writers make. It's so great. I'm not going to go on about it again, but I will say, maybe you didn't know this, for years on the Corolla Show and Baldywood, I would use this as an example. Every time Corolla would be like, "Oh, there's a movie about that coming up. That's going to suck." My
Borderlands.
mantra was, "Hey, in a world where the Lego movie can be fucking brilliant, I'm on board for any concept. Like, it's all about the execution."
And then go, eh.
And he hadn't seen it. So like,
Has he still not seen it?
Well, I don't know about now, but as of my employment. It was very upsetting, too, because I would frequently say this. I'm like, hey, listen, the Lego movie is amazing, so I'll give any movie a chance. The fact that I loved it that much, I had no interest to check it out. It's quite upsetting.
All right, we had 3 crossovers. I'm assuming that the listeners could have it. It's okay. Sometimes lists like this, like they're eye-opening, makes you stop, pause, and think. And
Well, we
also,
had some ones that I wouldn't have guessed Dumbo.
some new ones. Like I didn't know that about Mars Attacks. Didn't know that about Dumbo. There you go.
There you go. Avery, what's the listener top 5?
Listener list compiled by the Goose. Number 5, the Lego Movie.
There's
What?
4 ahead
I
of
know it feels low.
Wow.
If guys, if Battleship was on your fucking list,
No.
I've not seen. I
You
know
know
there's
what's
a guy
going to
with
be on there is one I left off a Clue.
Number 4, movie I think was overlooked. Dungeons and Dragons with Chris
All my else
Pine.
friends. All
It's
my
o-
else friends. It's a
It's
good movie.
okay, but
No,
it's
it was high
sacrilegious.
on the fun
Honor,
scale.
honor
And it
amongst honor amongst thieves.
It was high in the fun scale, but to put it above the Lego movie
Oh,
is
that's absurd.
one of the most insane things I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's absurd. Number 3, Barbie. Number 2, Pirates of the Caribbean. And number 1 is Clue.
There you go.
Clue.
Clue.
We just got up with Clue like within the last 12 months.
That's
you and I.
true.
Actually, just saw a live stage adaptation of Clue, The Amundsen.
Is that sniff worthy at all?
You
I mean, I
know,
went to a play.
did you guys get
There
the
you
same
go.
Sniff worthy.
Legitimate theater.
Legitimate
guys-
theater.
You guys see what Bill Burr's doing?
Yeah.
Podcast.
Bob Odenkirk.
I want to see
and
that shit.
Who else?
Kieran
Kieran
Culkin.
Culkin.
Always in the new Nobody
Holy
or something, right?
shit. No.
No, better.
Broadway.
Oh, really?
He's doing Mammoths. Glengarry.
Oh, Glengarry.
Ross.
That's right. I heard
Holy
about this.
shit.
I might have to
might
go
just
see
take
it.
up the hobo lifestyle and just get out, start say, bye Atticus, bye honey. I'm hopping on trains for the next 2 weeks. I'm getting out there. I'm gonna panhandle till I can get in that theater, and then I'll come back. I'll be back in like 2 months.
Mhm.
It's a 2-month journey.
What are they going to do without you?
It'll be fine.
That's what I meant.
Frolic. Revel.
Actually, honestly, they
That was the
want to be
implication.
fine. Like I had 10 minutes before I had to leave for this here program, and I had like 10 minutes worth of stuff to do to get ready and gathered. I was interrupted. I counted. I'm like, I wonder how many times. 7 times within that 10 minutes before I got out the door. I was late.
Boy,
as a
boy
result.
and wife.
Boy and wife. Constantly. Dada, honey, dada. Just constant. And then I'm like, hey, where'd you guys put this? And they give me shit. When they ask for I'm just like, head down, fucking sitcom dad, I do it. Whatever they need, I do it. And then I'm like, we got these little fucking things that the dog's supposed to like push because she's smart.
Yeah.
And like, it's like right by the door and it says outside and she pushes it and it's like she's talking. It's fucking cool. And I'm like, there's 6 of them. 8. And I'm like, I'm not going to learn all of the training methods of all these little talking buttons
Well,
in
you're
one go.
asking the
I'll
dog
put it in this
learner.
drawer. I'll put it in this drawer, and then I'll look at it, one by one, right? And I'll train her throughout the next couple weeks. Next day, go to the drawer, gone, fucking like the clown, Brian. It's gone. And I'm like, I'm fearful. I'm like, oh God, I gotta ask her where it is.
Buttons up there, Anderson.
I gotta ask her where the thing is, and I know that's gonna be like a, honey, like I know, like, so I just don't fucking ask. It's gone. I don't know where it is. Dog's not gonna get trained. Those buttons are just gonna be there, like as fucking doorstops, I guess. But then it says, Dada, can you?
And the buttons sound pretty sweet. I feel like
Is
you got to
that-
get that going.
I kind of like that.
One of them
actually.
says, I love you.
Oh.
That's gonna be the last one I'll train her.
Isn't it's funny that Tessa calls me Dada as well.
That is pretty good.
Very fun.
That is pretty good. I'm gonna have him turn to Mr. Cowan pretty soon, though.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Mr. Cowan was my father.
Director Cowan.
Mr.
His teacher sits in a director's seat, I guess, and he's like, Dad, you know those seats that like people like you? I'm like, where did you get the idea that I'm a director, dude? Like, he hasn't been on set really, and I don't know where he got this idea. Like, he's just kind of gathered it somewhere along the lines. It's funny.
No, it's nice.
I'm like, to be a director, you actually have to make money and provide for the family with the money you make from it. And I don't do that. I had this full
That's what
conversation
he's saying
with
to
him.
you.
I'm like, I'm not making like the money to pay for your breakfast or lunch or dinner so I like to do it, but
Far
I'm not,
from it, actually, it's taking money away.
it kind of takes money away. Don't tell mom. But yeah, it kind of takes money more
Yeah,
than
I
it
understand that.
gives money.
All right, can we? We got to gamble.
Gamble.
Fuck.
Oh, and I
I'm
gotta
off by like
assign-
75 points.
I got to assign a movie.
Well, let's hear. Oh, from the listener, you mean?
I thought we already did.
No.
What's the matter with you? Yeah. Remember Barbie? Lego movie was like.
No. What are you, assignment from the listeners? What he's saying? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to do
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
what he was wondering.
But then he's like, no, let's hear from the listeners. I'm having
No,
a hard
I
time
saw.
hearing.
When you said assignment, I said, oh, from the listeners.
Yeah. Eric Robbins is assigning this. Ennio.
Ennio?
Ennio. E-I-N-N. E-N-N-I-O.
Oh, is this by Ennio
Ennio.
Morricone?
Yes.
Ennio.
Ennio
It's
Morricone.
pronounced Ennio.
Thank you, Grandma. A very highly rated movie that we have missed. It is fucking long, 2 hours 36 minutes.
That
So
is-
no promises that we'll get to Ennio by this time next week.
That is too long.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give it a shot. Ennio. You know what?
I was actually really looking forward to this, so thank you. Who was it?
Eric Robbins.
Thank
my
you,
boy,
Eric.
Eric Robbins. I would have liked this runtime to have been Sing Sing. I think Sing Sing would have benefited from a 2 hour 36. Couldn't Sing Sing have been like an epic?
It could have. Yeah, it could have been a multi-parter.
Yeah, it could have been that. But I mean, it was all so much about the play. We didn't get to see the rest of their life other than like late night where they're talking to each other in the cells. Like we didn't get to see the yard much.
Yeah, it wasn't a prison life very much.
It wasn't, and I don't know. It was almost like
But do we need more depictions of prison life?
with those characters. Yeah, I mean that's my argument. Like I know what prison life's like. We've all seen it.
Well, you've lived the hard life.
And it seems like I don't want to do a spoiler with this one necessarily, but it seems like something was not really wrapped up, and I think that was the point.
I think it made a choice to avoid doing prison tropes, and for that I'm grateful.
Yeah, and I think they were really careful too with the nature of the film and having the actual guys depicting themselves, and they didn't want to have them go through all the violence, and
Sure.
they might have been a little bit skittish. Like let's not have them do the thing that.
Yeah. The thing you'd expect.
But still, if they're trying to get away from that, I need to see the juxtaposition a little bit. I think that would have gone a long way for me, anyways. I was like harkening back. I'm like, all right, let me just think of the violence in the screwdriver scene from Shawshank. Okay, I'm gonna juxtapose that into here, and I'm gonna imagine that it was Coleman Domingo that I had to go through. Okay, now let's get on with the scene.
Okay.
I don't like to have to insert scenes that don't exist in a movie to make it more impactful.
I think you're digging way too deep on this. The choices they made, I appreciate it.
All right, well then let's see it win Best Picture because it could have.
Why didn't say it's the best movie of the year?
It could have been. That's what I'm saying.
Gambling.
Gambling. Last week we gambled on Borderlands.
Oh dear God.
Anderson guessed 38. Bryan guessed the opposite at 83.
This is so bad.
The actual Rotten Tomato scores with 121 reviews is 9%,
Oh, it went up.
making Anderson the winner. And Bryan off by
I should have to
74%.
see two movies. That was so bad.
74%.
That was
It might
really bad.
feel that way depending on how you respond to this one. It occurred to me while watching Emily that you still have not seen a movie called The Celebration. Now, The Celebration is what put Dogma 95 on the map. It is a very particular type of movie. Lars Van Trier and gang decided to put together a manifesto back and get this, Bryan, 1995, called Dogma 95, where they had a bunch of rules for filmmakers. And you have to adhere by these rules to get the certification of Dogma 95. Those rules were nothing but handheld cameras, camcorders. They had to be consumer grade video. The actors were only allowed to wear things from their own closets. You weren't allowed to use prosthetics. You had to shoot
This
on
looks
location.
fun.
It's a lot of work. Vinterberg made a Dogma 95 movie called The Celebration, which I absolutely adored when I saw it. Saw this in
All right.
theaters, and it's very dark,
Streaming on the Criterion Channel.
but very funny at times. I'm curious to see if you will find it funny. Honestly, I'm curious to see if I wonder if I would think it as funny now that I'm a grown man with a child. I don't know if I would find the subject matter as funny, but it's the. We'll talk about it when you see it, but it's the constant. It's like waves where they just can't stop.
All right.
They just keep coming back and coming back and coming back, and nothing stops them from their accusations.
I got some heavy lifting this
It's a great
week.
movie. I love it. I love that celebration.
All right. I'm in.
Enjoy. Have you ever seen a Dogma 95 movie?
I don't believe I have. Dancer in the Dark?
Ever seen Julian Donkey Boy?
No,
Werner Herzog? No.
I have not.
All right. Yeah. There's a number of them.
This is eye-opening.
Yes. So the celebration. It occurred to me while watching Emma because the house that they all lived in was reminiscent of the party and the reunion that takes place at the celebration.
Gotcha. All right, I'm in. What are we gambling on this week?
Oh, you know what we're gambling on this week.
I do.
Romulus.
Alien
Oh,
Romulus.
Yes. Well, let me look it up real quick.
Brian, do you know anything about this?
He knows about the
It's
popcorn
an
bucket.
alien movie. I do. I do know about
It's a
the
sweet bucket.
popcorn bucket.
What about Wild Robot? You excited about that one?
What's that?
Wild
I saw
Robot?
my first trailer for that. It looked all right.
Fucking trailer made me cry.
The trailer looked right.
Concerned about watching that.
Speaking of trailers looking all right, I was initially sour on Alien Romulus, and I saw a couple of pretty good trailers.
I get the sense that it's not going to land for me. That's what my.
Why do you get that?
You've been
sense?
very down on the movie.
I know. It seems like it's a bunch of the parts that made people respond the most back in the day, just amplified for a new audience because it's
Okay.
been a while. And just like with the little like light that they're doing behind, so we can see.
It's like we've all seen it pop through the chest, but what if you could actually see an X-ray version of it popping through the chest? We're gonna come up with this light that goes behind the cavity of the chest cavity, and you can see it inside in real time.
It sounds
It
inventive.
seems gratuitous. I don't know if I'm going to be able to understand them because they have thick accents.
Oh yeah, I can't deal with that. I got a number. I'm gonna watch it with your father-in-law.
I'm not going to watch it with my father-in-law. Leave him alone.
I'm going to watch it with the director.
How's
really?
that? Oh, you're going to? You're going with Scott,
Special
I'm going with
screening?
Scott to the
Nice.
Academy.
our boy Scott.
So
You
could
and Fed.
the director and the special effects team talk about it.
You and Fed Alvarez.
Oh, that's gonna be report back, all right?
That'll be good.
Report back.
But don't take too long.
All right, on 3.
Sure.
1, 2, 72.
77. Ooh.
I was
Anderson
gonna say
gets-
79, and then for whatever reason, my mouth made the 2. I was gonna say 79. What the hell happened?
Anderson gets 72. Brian 77. As of this moment, there are no
Come on.
scores.
No, it's
since
bad.
No
goddamn
reviews,
COVID.
no score.
Bad sign.
In light of COVID, and
I
since
feel like
COVID,
it's no sign at this point.
No, it's not. It is no sign. It used to be a really definitive sign, but it's no longer.
Should I
that.
see Kneecap?
Yeah, I mean, it's playing down the street from you.
I would have seen it. Can I see
Why is-
Kneecap instead of the celebration? I don't have time to see all the movies.
Why is Charles Manson in Ennio?
It's showing like up and coming movies from 2019. I don't understand why.
Oh, this?
Yeah, it's
The
very
trailer
bizarre.
We're watching right now. It's IMDb.
It's literally a countdown for movies coming out in
Oh, it's just-
2019.
Ennio doesn't have a trailer attached to its IMDb page, so IMDb is just putting their own shit.
Do movies coming out in 2024? What the fuck are you doing? 5-year-old movies? Why?
They're classics. What you're Mr.
The
Well,
live
Romulus.
action Aladdin is a classic.
Yes, it's time for Romulus.
The Irishman's a classic.
Aladdin's problematic.
Problems.
All right, let's go.
Oh,
Get out of
around
here.
Comulus.
get the fuck out of here.
I don't feel good at my
Comulus.
77.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna knock your socks off.
Dad, you know that thing? And you interviewed that girl, and she was like in it, and it's like fake houses and stuff. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. What are you talking about, buddy? Well, like, remember we went and we saw it, and the girl, and you talked to her on the camera, and then she, like, her job is like in fake houses. I'm like, are you talking about sitcoms? And he's like, yeah, maybe.
What
He's like, I
girl?
watch a sitcom and it's with kids and it's really funny. I'm like, what are you talking? He's like, here, I'll show you. And he puts on some.
Is it Nicky, Ricky, Dicky, and Don?
I think he's talking about because like a couple times I've had to drag him to like interviews, and one of them was on the set of that '90s show. And I
Was it the Thundermans?
I don't know because it was already halfway through, and there was a lot of like jokes with a laugh track that he was watching with kids mainly. But he likes the
Were there
sitcoms.
lots of kids?
Were they lost kids?
Were there lots of kids?
There are lots of kids and a balding dad.
Oh yeah, it's Nicky, Ricky, Dicky, and Don.
Is it?
Probably.
Yeah. There's like the laugh
They're
track.
quads. They're quadtuplets.
I didn't pay attention. I just looked at the dad who reminded me a little.
Tell-
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little goofy. He's like Phil
he's-
Dunphy, but with balls.
He sounds like oh God, drawing blanks. Why do I always draw blanks? Why you suck my brain away. You really do. I rarely draw blanks on the after tester, but always with you. I don't know why. Son of a bitch. He's from SNL. He's the dad on Rick and Morty.
Chris Parnell.
Chris Parnell. Does he sound like Chris Parnell, the dad? This is
I
all
don't-
bonus, by the way. If you're still listening,
I
like,
don't
you just haven't been
believe.
able to reach for your
I
phone.
never thought of Chris Parnell.
because I was in the other room doing work while he continued to watch this.
Yeah,
sitcom.
he's got to look up Ricky, Nicky, Nicky.
No. Let's get out of here. Do the credits.
I'm watching ads for Johnny Carson and TV from the 70s on IMDb.
Yeah, and it's on the NEO page.
You
All
got
right,
to
go.
see the listener art. Listener art's tight. It'll make
Mickey,
the
Ricky,
Anderson
Dickie,
furious.
and Dawn. All right. No, that's not it.
That's pretty good. Who did this? Ludwig, you son of a bitch.
It's pretty good.
Nice. That's actually really good. The fucking tattoo.
This is very.
All right, get into it. Get into it.
It's very good.
Get
That's
into it.
good. Enjoy.
Brian, this is so accurate. Too.
It's very accurate.
I'm like nonplussed, nonplussed, and
You're
upset.
angry. Yeah.
And Brian's really enjoying himself.
Delighted. Laughing it up.
I was just watching some footage from the documentary the other day, my documentary, about Anderson explaining how when I came on board Loveline, I was all about thumbs and laughing at the boss's jokes, and you were having none of it.
What?
These are your words.
There was good stuff. I talked to your director for 2 hours.
That's all it's going in.
I said nice things.
That's all it's going in.
I said nice things.
Uh,
Did you watch all of it?
you,
Did I talk directly to the camera to you?
you,
Couple
you had-
times,
you
right?
had moments.
I'm like, Brian, I know you're watching this right now, right? I did that a couple times.
I remember that.
I talked to my wife about my feelings about you. All right, let's go.
That's all you're going to say?
Yeah, that's for us, Brian.
Thank you.
My wife knows the truth. She knows. Jillian knows. All right, go.
Thank you, Nick Eats Cake, for sending us Emily. Thank you, Ludwig Van Bacon, for the fantastic listener art. As always.
The worst part about the art is that it didn't come in time to make it for the pre-show for the live show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, true.
That would have been nice.
Thanks to the Mayberry Shift for being our featured artist. Check them out, AndersonandBryan.com. That's the website, and that's where you go for the Amazon link. Do your shopping if you don't mind, and cost you nothing to get us a few pennies on the back end. Appreciate you. Anderson and Bryan is the Instagram. Anderson and Bryan is the TikTok. The Film Vault on Twitter. The Film Vault on Facebook. The Film Vault podcast on YouTube.
Hey. Go ahead. I almost forgot. My buddy Paul, he was at the live show. Dear friend. Shout out to my friend Paul
Great guy.
Harper. I don't know if you talked to Paul Harper at all.
At length.
But one of my dear friends from camp.
Yes, I remember Paul.
He did a little very fun left, to say it mildly, left-leaning video from Conspiracy. He took a clip from, I believe it's Conspiracy.
Oh, sure.
And
Where Hitler's melting down.
Yeah, and he just put in subtitles as though it was the Trump campaign.
Sure.
Responding to Kamala coming onto the scene, and their how Vance is being responded to. It's like 2.5 minutes. It's very well written because he's a writer. Paul's fucking hilarious, very funny, and this thing is doing pretty well. Like last I saw, it was like over 3 million views.
Oh, I think I've seen it then, because I've seen one that's going around, and it's very funny. That's Paul?
That's my buddy Paul.
Well
Harper
done, Paul.
today. So I wanted to, maybe we can put a link to it. I don't know how to find that.
It's
link.
very funny stuff.
Yeah, it's very. Like at one point, Hitler clears the room. He makes everyone leave,
He's like,
except for Don Jr., somebody else, and the My Pillow guy.
Yeah, he says Don Jr., Marjorie Taylor Greene, and the Pillow guy.
The My Pillow guy. Everyone else out.
That was very funny. Paul, well done, my friend. That's good stuff.
Sorry, Border. I know that it probably hurts you a lot to be hearing. Border's my other very. There's three of us that we're all very close at camp, and the three of us, and it always hurts Mr. Border to hear Paul get airtime and not him.
Oh, sorry about that, Brian Border. Thank you to our Patreon listeners. Thank you to Giovanni. And by the way, if I can make a personal thank you to Gio, this documentary would not be what it is without him. Like I told Avery before the show, I'm like, is there a clip of this? Thinking it's never been seen. He's like, oh yeah, here it is.
That sounds like producer credit.
Gio is a wealth. So thank you very much, Gio, for your help
Gio
there.
is probably in the top 10 smartest people I've ever talked to, like, personally.
Yeah, he's a whiz.
He probably is like top 10 as far as. I don't know how
am
he'll
I-
score
am I in
on IQ. I bet it's pretty high, but
Am I in that?
no. People that think think they're smart, like, yeah, you're definitely top
I'll
five,
take it.
probably. Yeah.
I'll take it.
Top 5 people that think they're smart, yeah, you're up there.
Funny. Thank you, Drake.
Funny.
Thank you, Mike Cole. Thanks, Hughes. And thanks, Eric Kaff. Appreciate all you guys.
Goose. Put a face in the
Indeed.
name with the goose, too.
And what else? Till next time.
We do it. For Van Gogh.